reach out. Al Gore didn't create the internet. All these lies and deceptions. So thank you, Father, for the truth. Thank you again for the thank you for the this ability where your body is can't be together because they're all separate, and one day they'll be whole again. That's kind of what the internet is. It's kind of a unique. Oh, here comes my puppy just waking up. Hi, big guy. I come knocking the stream, does it every single time. It's like I'm stuck in the time loop here. So, but I'm not. Things are progressively moving towards revelation. Is the unveiling, the revealing, the pulling off. We see that is the case of this Sean Combs, Puff Diddy Daddy, the Magic Dragon. Good, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I don't mourn, so I won't tell you good morning, because I don't mourn. Death is a good thing. We want to get out of here as soon as we can, but we have to endure to the end, no matter what. I just want to go outside. Look at my puppies first thing in the morning. I'm gonna come say hi. This guy's always up. Hey, no kisses. He's always up in the morning. So I could give Dad some love. Gotta knock into the stream. That's what he always does. Gotta knock over the stream because he's big. He's the biggest guy. Oh, God, I love you. Oh, I'm gonna have to move this. All right, go on past. I'm gonna knock over. Go. I'm gonna charge you a toll every time you go through there. Be rich if I charge that. You live in it's a narrow cabin. It's longer than it is. So he's a big guy. Right. And come say hi to Dad. All right, come say good morning. Is that what you want to do? You want to mourn? Are you going to say mourn? Morning, good morning? No, we don't mourn here. We're happy, huh? We're happy guys. Hey, kittens have spent their second night outside. So cold, they got to get used to it. I'm not sure if anybody's going to take them and turn them into barn cats. So a baby might. Oh, this guy's rubbing on my leg. Oh, he's going to. This guy needs lots of attention. Yes. Yes, guys. You guys are my best guys. Even though we don't have people, we can talk to them online. Huh? How cool is that? Yep, hold on. The biggest guy to knock into the tango. Biggest guy. All right, get down. Get down, Pants. Get down. This tango's got to come up here. Pants, down. Pants, get down. Pants, get down. Thank you. Hold on. Tango's got to get up here and get his stuff. We got to get a big guy up here and get some of the first part of the day here. He's got to come up and get some. Oh, you just love your dad. You just love the dad. That's what it's all about, guys, for the dad. Dad's got the puppins. You're just a big guy. Hold on, take turns. Oh, goodness. Oh, you're gonna knock that over. You're such a big guy. You're so big. Come say hi. I love these guys. Got it made, eh? Got me some puppins. See this puppy? He's never cheated on me, never lied to me one single time. He gave his life for me. You know any humans that would do that? Give their life for you? He gave his life for me. You got anybody in your life that would give their life for you? You would, huh? Yes, you would. In a country minute. Yes. You guys want to go out and use the bathroom? Good time to use the bathroom. All right, let's go outside, go potty. All right, hold on. Yeah, you guys are such good guys. You are the best puppies I ever did have. What's going on there, Pettis? Are you out there? You guys all sleeping? Whoa! First night out, you can see your breath. Hope you're all bundled up together. I'm such a softie. So, like I said, I made a kitten spend the night outside last night. They've been transitioning just like anything. We want to keep them on steady food. Don't be buying food because of the price of it. What are you doing? Get them on good food and don't be changing their food. I can't stand people who buy animal food because of the price. And I know we're all hurting, but you shouldn't own an animal if you can't afford to feed it. Animals don't eat corn. Most animals don't. We don't eat corn. We shouldn't even eat corn, really, a little bit. But anyways, top of the first part of the day to you. I don't mourn. I don't say mourning. Words are very important. You speak everything into, what you say. The placebo effect is very strong. You can manifest your own nonsense. So, LM, if you could, I just kind of want to. This is a documentation. I'm going to step back this again a little bit and start documenting what's going on here. I'm going to look at this 1,000 years from now, and thank you so much. See, that's what I'm talking about. I want comments like that in the chat, like Laverne in here. Either people can say things. Not much of a change at LM, but let's keep it to the topic. Let's start documenting what we see here. What's going on. Today's October 1st. This strike is going on in these ports, guys. This is insane. I talked yesterday to try to get a part for my car from one of the parts, and a couple of the parts stores. They didn't even know this was happening. And they were massively affected. Once I told them, they're like, "Oh crap, are you serious?" I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "No way." I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "I know. I'm just telling you because I don't want you. You're in the business. You're on the other side of the counter. You dealt with this. People don't give a crap. They show up with their money. This is the now generation in America, brothers, sisters. They're going to step back from 100 years from now and look at this and go, all they wanted to do is live in the now. That's why they spent all the money. Like Trump is the #1 spending president in the United States ever. He's spent more money than any president ever has. He's still outpaced Biden. So people get all political if you say a name. So we're just going to do a documentation, broadcast, sow seeds. And if people want to stay on topic, great. If not, pretty much, I don't think I need to answer any more questions. I think you should already see that it's going on. And they just wiped out the East Coast, guys. I don't know how that works, because normally that thing will dump a massive amount of rain through Florida. It didn't dump rain until it hit, well into Georgia, and then up in there in North Carolina, Tennessee. It's weird how that old thing just went off, so there's another more forming. This is going to be inactive. I've been trying to tell people about this Atlantic Ocean heating up too. This AMOC is about ready to turn over, or no, it's not. See, bam, then it's it. We're straight dipping into an ice age. So people just don't have the understanding of the way the sun works, the mechanics of our atmosphere, magnetics, left brain, right brain. They don't use very much of it. They're restricted, like a carburetor, retarded or advanced. They have somebody's put the throttle screw down on them. So anyways, remember, God creates, the Father, I am, the one who exists without flesh. He creates all things. So you're not doing anything. Otherwise, you're just an idolater. And remember to go out and rebuke these people, judge them with righteous judgment, put the word of God on them, because they will do dark every single time. And that's just what we're here in those times and days. So that's right. That's what it says. You can't fool the elect. So it's not written on their hearts. He didn't make a covenant with them. Remember, eye for an eye was the old I am. So, so thank you for predestination. Those who we pulled from their sin, their darkness, and they can, all of them, the other ones, they can worship their Sex Pistol Jesus, their Nimrod, Baphomet, Baal, transgenderism God, the one with horns, breast, and hoof, right? Wretched man, woman, and beast, and they can have their orgy, sex, transgender, biscuit ritual and align their calendar right in the middle of the new year. For some lunatics, they're all lunatics. They're all lunatics with their candy. Yeah, they love their candy rituals. They love sugar. It's poison. to align these sugar holidays, because that's what they are, sugar holidays. Think about it. Every time they used to bake hot cross-top buns to Ishtar, the sex goddess who married her son. This historical record. This is how much of a lunatic the world has become. They're okay. They bang pots and pans in the middle of the winter and call it New Year. So don't worry, brothers and sisters. You're not going to change a goat into a sheep. God created vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. Hashtag that. What part of the foundation of the world do you don't understand? Hashtag from the foundation of the world. Prognosko is the Greek word. He had foreknowledge of the ones he chose, the ones he knows, the one he paid for, from the foundation of the world. And the vessels of wrath, most people are going to hell. But most people don't even know what hell is. Most people don't know what heaven is. No, they don't. Most people don't know what earth is. All those things that I just told you, 98% of the population, well, 5% of the population. Yeah, Cronus, the one who ate his kids. Oh, you mean Moloch, the owl god? So what? Brothers, sisters, do go put righteous judgment on everybody, okay? Don't ever pass past anybody. Remember, he said in Ephesians 5, you can go ahead and take care of that now, LM. That's what I want to, LM, if you'll take care of any of that nonsense, anybody who's not in the narrow way, we don't sup with vipers, remember? We don't cast our pearls in the mud. We don't cast our pearls in the mud in front of Baphomet people who are going to hell. That is not for us to know, but we don't have to sit there and make that choice. We put righteous judgment, and then we 2 times, remember, get them out of here for me, LM. Let's keep it to that, please. Don't want any interference with the chat, so I won't address it anymore. I'll just teach. Remember, I just teach off. I could address it, so remember, I could say, oh, well, now I'm surprised I haven't been the choice to talk to the big farm guy and put me on some kind of, talk to the doctor and put me on some, yeah, the number 1 drug dealer ever on the planet, Donald, Mr. Yes, 45, with the greatest drug dealer ever. So, anyways, let me take care of this real quick. All right. If they're not in the narrow ALM, I mean, I know you don't do it. I don't know how much you moderate on here. Moderate anybody that's not staying on subject, please, for me. Like I said, I just try to do more of a documentary. I'm not going to address it. I don't have the time. I can teach off it, and I've always done that. The channel's the same, but I'm just not going to address it. There's too many things going on. People don't see it right now, and they want to make a comment. They're not going to change anything. We know that. God created all things. He's doing every single thing. You think in 10 years from now, okay, I saw that guy on that blog on there. He said, God thinks I'm going to go right. You can't do that. You can't. God knows where the dice will land. There's no such thing as luck. All these people believe in fairy tale. Fairy is a Celtic demon. Then he gets about magic, nonsense, hocus pocus, genie. That's an Arab demon. A Celtic demon is a fairy, and a demon is a distributor of lies or fortunes. It's just man twisting it. That's the issue. The Trojan horse is here. The bat signal has already been let out, Laverne. So I'll have talks about things that matter in our lives that are going to affect us. But otherwise, I just want to document what's happening here. So the Trojan horses, it's in how many states now, Laverne? Down there in Texas, breaking into the largest oil facility in the United States, trying to steal oil and copper. Colorado, the city councilwoman goes down with the cops. This old lady's calling, they're trying to throw me out of this apartment. I need help. She goes down there, meets the cops down there. Before she can get all her stuff moved out, they're already moving in. The cops are there, and the cops are not there to get rid of these gangs, the Trans de Alawawa, which is, I know, I grew up in one of the largest cities in the world. MS-13 was not, that was part of my life. Okay, I know that. This is just as violent. They'll cut your head off and go send it to your body, all your body parts to your family, and wait there in the mail to watch them, all their reactions, and then cut them all too, just to get the thrill out of it. They're very violent people. What I want you to do is focus on what would Jesus do, that a lot of these people, as I've taught on this blog, that for many years just came here and don't want. We went there as America and displaced their countries with our petrodollar, making it more strong, instilling the central bank, inflating their currency, extorting their resources, and make things like this happen. This is the documentation of the fall of America and what we've done, and the fall of the petrodollar and the BRICS nations and all these things that are already happening, that people just go along to get along. The bug, the beer bug, the crown virus showed that. Everybody just stood down and stood on the X. I'm a veteran, so this is what's happening. This is written. God created all things. Everything that is happening exactly as the Father wants it to happen, either by self-will, which he creates and knows everything everybody's going to do. Yes, you get the options of idolatry, pornea, idolatry. You can serve these eyes, these two thieves that will steal your crown. This hangs on this cross. That he said, "Let no man take your inheritance that you receive." This whole thing is about. It's about inheriting. Remember, the bride he divorced. He'll make he made a new covenant, a new contract. We're not under the law. He fulfilled that of flesh. I teach that. I'm a pastor, and I pastor the only probably military pastor that teaches that for 2,600 years, yes, war was part of God's sacrifice. All these things is the Alpha. Remember the fire God, that time before he was birthed of water. I teach this too, celestial understanding. I don't think any man on this earth is teaching right now in the sense of, I have other teachers that I can refer to that I learn things from, but in a package, in putting this together, like where we're at in time, exactly. I can show you celestially where we're at. Like, for example, we're already in the 6th extinction event. There's been 5 majors before. I've already shown all that on this blog. We are in a time where this is the lifting of the veil. This is the time was what is known as the apocalypse, not Armageddon. We're not there yet. Don't ask for that. He said, don't pray. Don't ask for that. He's doing his things. He's the just measure will pour it out on all of us. And we are not asked to, bring that. We need to be patient with God. We need to be patient with everything. So back to the subject too, what I'm saying is that these people that we've displaced have come over here. And I know, because I grew up around 70% Latino people, and I grew up around Hispanic people. The vernacular is very important. You don't call somebody from El Salvador a Mexican. They'll tell you they're not Mexican. Mexicans like to be called Mexican, like a redneck. You're not going to insult a redneck by calling him a redneck. You're like, damn right, that's what I put it on my windshield. I'm a redneck. I grew up in one of the biggest city, born in the city of messengers, but all these puppies already went back in with it, Dad. On your feet. Easy, boy. Okay. Good stuff. So we're at a very special time and place in history that people are missing, and the evil knows that. They've got this time clock all spun. Remember the Genesis, it tells us that the celestial firmament above our head, all those markers, time markers, the stars that mark time, the sun, that's obviously, and the moon has its in. They don't know about a watch. He said he come like in the night. He said he will come in the night. Nobody knows the day or the hour. Paul said, you'll see the day approaching, and like you said, the elect will not be fooled. You cannot. It's not possible. It's not. So that's the beautiful thing. We don't have to sit here and worry about changing a goat into a sheep. So this channel would be for somebody more like you, Laverne, that knows and what's going on, and because God wrote the word of God on your heart, not on stone that was all blotted out in the book of Colossians 2:14. You don't want to put your head down now. If you know the Father, he always saves the best part for last, right? Hallelujah. The inheritance. So you got to just remember, every jot and every tittle will come to pass. The same family tree. That's why I almost live the same. Mexicans. Okay. Okay. So let's finish that too. Just a little bit, because I will. Thanks for bringing that up, Laverne. Keep it on track of it, because I will. I'll be able to finish this. If I hold conversations like this, I could, and then just won't pay attention to anything else, because I normally bounce off of the trolls and learn and teach the I've never been here before. There's a fellowship that was my teacher and my pastor said, because I've already separated myself, more decades ago from society. And I live way out in the country. I live very organic and make all my own power. I'm a minimalist. I've tried to give everything I own away now to the church and sell everything and give it to the ministry, create this ministry, an official, this is all, there's just one I am, and everything else is a deity. And there's a bigger thing on. So as is above, they're doing everything by the stars. Everything is done by the stars. Everything is done by those time markers up above your head. So since the Obama administration, you got to remember I'm old, but since the Obama administration, they have been considered OTM, these immigrants coming across our border. I have the time to teach this for a minute. Other than Mexican. So this isn't Mexicans coming across the border, and it hasn't been since this whole wall thing with Mr. Thump, and he never built the wall, and it was never, he's talking about building an invisible millimeter wall, a dome that Tesla, his uncle Trump had that technology because of how that transpired with JP Chase and, the power poles and the copper and, the AC/DC, if you know anything about that technology's been held. And now I know why, because we had already screwed all this up. We had already destructed ourselves if we had that technology. But I think I've figured out why they're holding it and not trying to, because they're saving it for that great and dreadful day of the Lord. I know what that thing does. It affects our magnetosphere. It's just a magnet. They try to make it like everything else, sensationalize it. Oh, the God particle. And that's just, you separate and run a positive and a negative, a dark and a light particle, an atom, a proton, electron, a muon. You're going to separate that through a venturi. It's going to separate that light. This is why I've already tried explaining. This is why I am is who he is. He's the only thing. He is light, pure light. And light cannot accept dark. Dark always tries to attract the light. It's the opposition of polarity. It's opposition of magnetism. It gives us a left and right brain, but people won't use it. They're restrained. I said screwed. They're throttled down, retarded, or not advanced, but retarded. And that's not the derogatory term in a sense of a carburetor. That's just their brain they don't left brain. They say, oh, you can only use this much. They say, and they go along with the flow in school, and they do what they're told. And they get told lies to their vision, and they believe all the visual and verbal voodoo. They get spelling bees, get stung by the spelling bee, and go to school. And once again, get programmed watching television once they were young and growing with the program and with the flow to get school, so they don't go out of the lines, right, and stay and put their money in a bank and spend their currency. And it's all just part of this master scripture plan that the Father has created through the works of who he has created as the distributor of lies and fortunes. And so all of this, going after these other deities is all just made up. Man wants to be sensational, and they used to think there were gods in the sky, and now people think gods in the sky. They think heaven's above their head. Heaven doesn't have anything to do with above their head. They think earth is below their feet. The earth doesn't have anything to do with what's below their feet. That's where we came from, right? No, the earth is the people walking around. When God created the heaven, it's not talking about the sky. And when he created the earth, it's not talking about below our feet. But you're not going to change that. So it's beautiful that it's already written, all these things. And so all this changing of all these things are happening exactly to put a master plan in place. So when we see this thing like this rolling into this Trojan horse, we already saw that in Germany. I had somebody in here a couple of days ago who said, yeah, I left Europe because you're saying exactly right. It's a Muslim nation now. And now they said Europe is too white. They just came out and said that. It's just like, it's incredible what could be transpiring. But let's get back to the United States, where we have people back since I was young coming across the border. And go ahead, Pastor. And they were called illegals. And if they were foreign, they were from a different country, they weren't supposed to be here. They were called illegal. If it's foreign, it's not something you've seen before. You could say that would be alien to you. You don't have, right? Well, they were called illegal aliens. You know what I'm saying? They were called illegal aliens, and they've been coming here since I was a child. Because I remember I grew up in the city of messengers, Los Angeles, messenger angel, same thing. And here I am standing in the pulpit giving you this, whatever. But this is, I'm very familiar with this, the heritage, Hispanic, Latino. There's lots of words for calling it. You call somebody El Salvadorian, they'll tell you, I'm not an El Salvadorian, I'm a Salvadorian. And no, I'm not a Mexican. You don't know the culture. You don't know the customs. These are very important if you study. This is, you were speaking at Aztecs, all that. That's the tribe of Gad, remember? So, but anyways, the 12 tribes, they're part of their 12. Wait a minute, I thought that, anyways, remember the mounds up here, all the, anyways, they knew what was coming too. So that's what's happening now. So, yeah, there's always been chasms. Look, they always knew there were these events coming in the sky, and they got ready. And that's why, Noah, he listened not to the world, but he did what he was told. People are given signs. Remember, we were talking about, it's what's in the cave paintings. That's what all that imagery is you're seeing is these electrical discharges, like this new moon all of a sudden, and all this. I told you guys, boom, it's all part of a cycle. There's nothing new under the sun. So anyways, these Salvadorians that in this case, we're talking about the Venezuelans who the United States went over. And since I was young, they're not supposed to be here. No, that's not the way it's working anymore. And I want to explain to you about the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what would Jesus do? That since I was young, people came here and went through a process, naturalization, and made part of the immigration and getting their green card and going through the process. And many didn't. And you know what? Many came here and got a job, paid taxes. I'm not into taxes. Remember, he turned over the money changer tables, paying with the old money, the fee that they were charging. Yeah, God don't like fees. God don't like feeing his people. So I cannot wait till he turns over the tables on this nation, the biggest money changer table nation ever, the American money changer table nation. Oh yeah, all oil will be priced 1973 in the U.S. dollar. If not, we'll bring our military and we'll do horrible. I know, I'm a veteran, disgusting, filthy swine, the swine of the earth, the veterans who, he said, no more war. He said, let vengeance be mine. We're not under that covenant anymore. So again, the only pastor that's teaching this. So as these people have come across this border, oh, dirty wetback, all these people say these horrible things. These people have for years picked the food, put all of this stuff and put it on the table. These people have been very ungrateful and have just badmouthed these generations for many decades now. This isn't a new problem. Immigration, this is a nation founded on immigrants. Now we're trying to keep out all the immigrants. That's funny. We'll get to that subject. Take a mental note and write that down because we need to talk about that in future tense. We will right now. Let's make it time, Margaret. Okay. They're here. How do we tell who they are? Exactly on cue. Thank you, Father, for the beautiful timing. They've been coming here let's get back to the Venezuelans. Remember I said OTM other than Mexican since Obama, number 44, Barry, right? Brothers, sisters, Venezuela is the second oil-rich nation in the world. Dirty crude oil, excuse me, but nonetheless, everything's paid for. Socialism, their healthcare, their education. If you know anything about, this happened in just a couple years. We can do this and destroy a country by inflating their currency. And this is how it's done. This is how America does it in many ways. We do silent wars. They're doing it to their people. Spraying, fluoridating the food. Food is poison. It's just the food. It's already happening. Talked about it. The silent wars that, So, but anyways, if you look too, we just hit, sorry, I have a computer. It's not jamming here. I'm just front running something in my head. Check this out, guys. Look at the way these people were in the fields. No, wait a minute. I'm onto something. This is awesome. Thank you, Father, for having at least the brain to not orange juice, but concentrate, right? So these people have been in the fields. Look at them, right? They picked all this product. Look at the way these farmers are now and the way that all this stuff is grown. It's a whole different process. We need to be, and I've already said this too, because we need to understand that these people are the most familiar too with the food that's grown. And I don't know, I need okay, I'll make a marker there. But I always just remember, if you look at a farmer like in the 1970s, 50s, overalls, coveralls out there and farming, and now they're all in these suits, chemical spraying this stuff. Again, fluoridation. I'll move on to the fluoridation, chloridation of the crop. So are they out there in chemical suits now, the migrants, immigrants in the fields? Because that's not the only job that they do, but because they're taking over all this stuff now. This government has already given away this country. Like I said, this is a documentation. If you don't see that they're paying, you have to have first, last, you have to have debt to ratios, you're going to look at your credit score, pet rent, all these things. If you're going to move into a building as a citizen of America right now, and you tell me this country's not already taken over, we're going to start doing that and get people in the mindset that we're already done. That condition is long gone. That you think America, the constitutional republic, this is a democracy, 1870, in the 1800s, we'll be specific. You look in this, 1871, they took this, whole bimetallic standard. This is the destruction of this country started in the 1800s through your purchasing power, just wrangling one gold price, being able to control. You can't control the two because that's a bimetallic standard. So that's where the destruction of this documentation would really truly start. The constitutional republic. This is not a constitutional republic. This is not a democracy. This is freaking fascism. This is socialism. That's what they've done. Remember, the president that spent all the money, and this is happening now. So this relates to what I'm talking about. Took from the future generations to have it now. Is now they're taking that money and giving it to these people in Maine. They're giving somebody who's come over here, not somebody who had to have first, last, all this, a citizen. As citizens die in the streets of America, women, children, they are paid. And I'm not getting, look, we're going to get to this. A lot of people, assimilated brothers, sisters came here just fine. There's something else going on right now, and has been for about a decade or so more, that I've been pointing out on this blog and have, for some time, about documenting the people that were coming over during, the Obama administration. And, that they used to come over with strollers and diaper bags, and women. It's just, they're front running this Trojan horse, brothers and sisters, that's here now. The trend, they just shipped in through, we'll go back to Venezuela, okay? Because again, a lot of people came here from this country. They're coming here now, brothers and sisters, and all they wanted was a better life, because we went, and we'll get back to what we did to that country by inflating their currency. A $5 cheeseburger went to $500. Yeah. Okay. So, but anyways, what's going on now in Maine, they're paying these people $1,800 to $2,300 a month to move into these places. And the money's already, but they already front run the money. Remember, they grab it out of the futures. And so they can have it now to do this. This is filthy. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it. I like economics. I like money. I just like the way that an ebb and a flow. It's a free, not free will, but a free market, is because two people agree to pay with something, and nobody's manipulating the price of anything. And that's what the Fed does. And they're not part of the Federal Reserve. They're not federal. They're just central banks. They're the banksters, JP Morgan, all these. Give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank, and he'll rob the world. That's what we've already seen. Rob a whole country, rob a whole nation, rob the whole world now through inflating their currency. Whatever. It's called interest, fees. God hates this. So anyways, back to the subject, brothers, sisters. Most people don't see that they're paying people in Maine. They're moving people into they're building massive apartment complexes for these people. None of this is for the American people. So if you think this is America anymore, and this government is here to support you, you have just both already went by and passed you. Dying Americans as people come in. Many of them don't know this, brother. So they've been told this. Is they say you can come to America from other countries and just squat here, and they're doing that. This migrant problem. Oh, we can't call them migrants. You got to call them immigrants. Oh, wait, you can't call them immigrants. You got to call them newcomers now. You're a second-class citizen, America. You will become a second-class citizen. They're not paying you anymore. Yeah, no, you got to get a credit check. You got to have first, last, your debt to ratio. They're going to look at all that before you can move into somewhere. You got to have a state. No, they're move them in because we front money and took the money, and now they're moving in. They've taken over whole apartment complexes, brothers and sisters. And they've done this. I already told the story where in Colorado, the city councilwoman got a call from a lady who's living in one of these apartment complexes where it was a majority of this Venezuelan people who, now let's get back to this real quick because I really want to come full circle with this and then I can move on in my head. I'm trying to hold this marker and get you to understand what's going on here. You know, these people were moved in front run and again, and told could move in. There were people who are not Venezuelan still living in some of these compartment complexes. These Venezuelans start throwing anybody else out and taking over too, eventually all these apartments that even their own people, and said, look, you're going to pay rent to us now, taking and throwing out the landlords. I mean, this is mafia style. I told you, they're as violent as MS-13. They almost make, I'm not saying they don't make MS-13 look, but they're just as, or maybe a little bit, this is done too. This is very contrived, brothers, sisters. They did this before. If you listen to the president of El Salvador, he's talked about this, what they did in Carter and putting people into these jails and training them. And they create these armies, brothers and sisters, whether you understand. And that's what's happening right now in this country. So let's go to this. Many people came across the border, fed people, you know, and people were dirty, saying these derogatory, wetback, all these nasty terms. We made this happen. I don't care how you think about this as a documentary. We'll say it's parody. To do the thing, I guess we can get away with it. Now you got it's a parody, but whatever. No, look at your own history. This is what they said. You look at whatever they said in the history of the book. We're just making a parody, okay? So Venezuela has 29 million people in it, brothers, sisters. 29 million people. Before the cheeseburger boulevard went from, that's their, like you have the dollar, the yuan, the yen, it's called the boulevard, the Venezuelan boulevard. That cheeseburger went from $5 to 500. And people couldn't, it got bad down there, brothers and sisters, and it's already very violent. And they started releasing all of these people out of the jails. And so, you know, kind of like during COVID, and it's going to happen again, brothers and sisters, because they've already let all of them here and they're going to let the ones here out. It's going to get just a matter of time. You can sit there and run away from it, but this is the documentation parody of the destruction fall of America. And America, no united, two states that are united. And so these people were there's 22 million left. Where do you think those 7 million people came? Where do you think those 7 million people came to? What other place can you go and they'll give you benefits and put you up in an apartment that's $2,300 for a 2-bedroom, $1,800 for 1-bedroom, for guaranteed 2 years, you're not paying a dime, as these people around you, these second-class citizens in the country, starting to create this very entitlement generation that they have. And they'll pull the funding from these people, and that's how they'll get them to do whatever they want, because now you're already second-class citizen. And now they're paying these people, which now they are, which is the Trojan horse. And it's an entitlement generation, whether you understand it or not. They already, this whole J6 ordeal where they into this Capitol building, they already did that in Washington, into the Capitol up there where they're holding thing, and said, hey, these hotel rooms aren't hell working for us that you're giving us. We want housing. You know, it is, oh, no, on goes the show. You know, people, J6 are still all that nonsense with that. But brothers, sisters, the main thing that I want you to bring out of this is as all this transpires, there were a lot of people as I grew up, and let's bring it into right now, the front running of all these Mexicans coming across the border. They were not Mexicans, brothers and sisters. Many of them were for China, other countries, all over the world, but they were not Mexicans. Mexicans have been coming here and working, sending money back home. Mexicans are very family-oriented. Catholicism, they're all a bunch of pagans. A lot of them, I was going to go to Mexico and try to teach the gospel. That'd be hard to teach to a bunch of Catholic people. Well, they're about as idiots as Christians, but they have familia. They're good people. They believe in, here, let me give you an example. Oh, those dirty people coming across the board. Now we'll just use a derogatory term, and I don't mean to, or just do it for the documentation. Whitey are sitting there, or the American, because they call white American, with this joystick playing World of Warcraft or Call of Duty or whatever, and it's not, and I don't believe in taxes, but paying no taxes is sitting on food stamps and collecting some kind of benefit, not doing anything. I'm not saying that people don't need some help with food or anything, but they're milking the system. And they're not contributing, and they're like these dirty wetbacks, these Mexicans as the food that there's on their table and they're paying no taxes on anything. This person from another country like Mexico who's been coming here, came across the border, kept their mouth shut because they didn't want to get busted if they were illegal alien, back is what we called them, because they were here illegally. They're from something's foreign, it's alien, it's called illegal alien, that's what they called them. They're here illegally. They didn't naturalize. They didn't go through the process of getting a green card. Imagine how those people feel right now, too, that did that, brothers and sisters. Like, what the hell? I went through all that stuff, and they're just giving these people money. They never gave me any money. They're not happy either, brothers and sisters, right now. They are not happy either. They went through the process the hard way to become here and to be part of this supposed where you could. This was a country where you could earn more as per capita and not pay for your food, and most of your cost of living went towards your food. And a lot of countries, most of what just they pay for is just their food to live. And we pay a very small amount to other countries per ratio for our cost of living and food compared to some people make $3, $5 a day, brothers and sisters. Anyways, brothers and sisters. So these illegal aliens that these dirty wetbags, as they're feeding these people, came across here. They started paying taxes because they got a cell phone here, and they went to the gas station, and somebody drove over to get a car they paid taxes on this wherever they're at, and some states don't have. They started paying taxes. They went and got a job, paid taxes on that, because they can work under these. The way our law works in America, people don't realize they've let these people and have used this immigration in America to let these people come in and work, whether they're either naturalized or not. It's what all this, fighting over this immigration, it's to allow this to facilitate these people to come in and work without having be naturalized in immigration. And it is what it is. So moving on, many of them do other, side work too, and get other under the table for farmers, because farmers will pay people to work and just shut up and pay them. Yeah, that happens. It's commercialized, as kind of industries change that, but it still goes on. Oh, I live in a farming community. I'm a farmer. I live on a farm, a ranch. This Silver Rock Ranch where I live. I built a ranch, a farm out here. Anyways, so these people came here and they paid taxes the minute they got here. They like a lot of the people who aren't under this paid system that are still coming, because I imagine from the 7 million people, I want you to understand this is how they made this whole Mexican thing, saying Mexican. A lot of them were were just from Venezuela, and the average whitey American couldn't tell a Venezuelan from a Salvadorian, from a Mexican to a Argentinian to anybody from South America. They just put the term Mexican on them. So it's pretty sad that most of these people who came for the last 20 or 30 years came to this country and assimilated just fine into society. Oh, they won't assimilate. That's not what was going on in Europe, brothers and sisters. The Muslim people over there is a Muslim nation now. They don't assimilate. And neither do these trans de la agua. They do not either. They do not and will not. That's why they're taking over things and don't care. They're even treating their own people like crap in these buildings. And like I said, making them, it's not nice that what is going on. And I appreciate the subject and I need to wander, but I want you to learn something here. Hashtag, what would Jesus do? We're going to bring that back. Hashtag, ask yourself, what would Christ do? Now you got to be careful because they're not all nice. But most people came here, brothers, sisters, and paid tax. And do this. You ever see these Hispanic people? I don't care which country they came from, whether they are Mexican or they're a lot of them. They dress nice. A lot of them wear too much cologne for me. I don't want any cologne, but they try to smell good. They have nice cars. They spend money on their cars and all the, you might not like some of them because they like the sport compact, but they pay a good living here. They pay taxes. Why do you say that? I'm a dirty Mexican coming in, making this big opinion. They did get in cars. Okay, but a majority of them are good people, brothers and sisters. That's the thing I want you to see here. A majority of people came across this country assimilated for the last 30 years and didn't. Now, listen, they came to America. If you put 10 whiteys, it don't matter. American, I'm using that as a white American term. It doesn't have to be Caucasian, that attitude. And if you did put 10 Caucasian people, put 10 people in a 2-bedroom apartment that are white and tell me that you won't have meth coming in there. You won't have drinking and put holes in the wall, wrecking that place. You could put 10 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, Americans, and them all sit there, sleep, get on each other, and all dress nice, figure out who takes the shower for. You never think about that. You got the whole place to yourself or whatever. No, there's 10 of them in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they figure how to shower, get all this process, and all they care about is making the money that they need to make and sending back some to Mima or Papa or, whatever in the familia that they choose, auntie or brothers and sisters. I want you to understand, God, no matter what, said, love thy neighbor like thy enemy, like I love thyself. This is a lesson I've been going on for how long now? Half an hour. Whatever, it's worth it. It's worth the day. A lot of people came here, brothers and sisters, paid way more taxes than any white American, assimilated just fine into this country, didn't get anything. No checks, no cars, no handouts, no phones, no nothing. That's happening now, absolutely. But they didn't for decades. So I want you to think about, there's still most people that are coming across. I'm not trying to get you to be complacent. I want you to pay attention. But they assimilated just fine. They paid way more taxes than the average American. I rebuke America. This country is filthy and disgusting, especially that whitey, proud, who's just entitled. And they are, have come from all places, because now they've got these coming in, creating that same entitlement with these current people, but not most of them. A lot of people are still have come here, brothers, sisters, on foot, didn't get in a car, didn't get rode in by the UN on plane, weren't given a visa card, weren't given all this stuff, and came, and they're still here right now. And they're trying to just because I'm sure they figured this out outside this country. They just think we're Mexicans. Let's just go. See, that's a problem too that has happened now, to go back to the point that I said I was going to make. How are we going to figure out where the enemy is? In another nation where they're all Russian, Gog and Magog, that started, brothers and sisters. It's here too, so that we're here. Iran, Russia, we're here. Yeah, we're here. But anyways, brothers and sisters, like I said, look about what I just said. A lot of people assimilated fine over the last 30 years. So this new people coming, this is a nation founded on immigrants. If you were in Russia, predominantly Russian people, they look Russian, and Europe, now that's changed because they're not, but if you pull out, people in South Africa, they have a predominant. How are you going to identify the enemy in America? I can. It's called the government. Yeah, 40% of the people work for the government. So there's your enemy in America too. So you got to take the government, and everybody works for the government. Oh, if you work for the government, does anybody work for the government? You're my enemy. Get out of here. Do you work for the state? I rebuke you, you filthy swine, supporting this beast system. Supporting it. They made more jobs. Oh, there's more jobs. Yeah, more government jobs created. 40% of the population in America, brothers and sisters, either by contract, private contractor, state, federal. This country is just filthy, and it's just a documentation. I don't care what you think. This is history. That's record. That's the fact, Jack. Moving on. So, brothers, sisters. Anyways, okay. So, yeah, good stuff. You know your biblical history. Good for you. Oh man, I was not supposed to address any trolls. So, whoops. I try to keep the depression to a minimum. I've done buried caskets that had my best friends in them. Once hearts are broken, I don't believe there's men in them. But if you do, you're a true champion. You can make it. It's just a test of your faith. God, he gonna be with you every step of the way. I'm a sinner, and I know I ain't living right. Because if I was to die, I'd be chasing this rent tonight, denied at the gates, casted into hell. Somehow that's secondary to cash and living well. You better think about who you love. What's going on in your head? Don't address the trolls, Tracy. Don't address the trolls. Do what you're here to do. Documentation fall. All right, brothers, sisters, just toying with you. Stack Mac. All right. Thank you, Mr. Macmillian. Right. If anybody knows that, got a little time for self. But brothers, sisters, listen. Let's get back to the subject here. Yeah, you better be thinking about what you're here to do. Cash is king. He said, be in the world, but be not of it. Yeah, there's a new moon. Oh, who's delusional now? All right, back to the fall of America, brothers, sisters. 80%, again, of the people coming across the border are other than Mexican, and this has been going on now since the Obama administration. These are people. Love thy enemy like thy love thy neighbor, like thy love thyself, right? It's the love of money, not money. We need money. So think about what they're doing here. They're toying with people with money, front-running generations, paying them. A lot of people came here, worked their butt off, pay taxes, do things in this entitlement generation. But that's going to be how this will happen too as well, because when they pull their funding of these people that have come in here, they're going to want, and they're going to be able to control them. And I believe this is part of this bringing in of this new digital system as well. It's all part of putting blue helmets on them and tell them, go get Whitey and go get a Second Amendment. And Trump front runs that. So I'm front running that before everybody have already been discussing that. The Mr. Badman Orange is doing the red Second Amendment law, where he can take them from you. In America, it's innocent till proven guilty. But no, you're a veteran like me. You're cleaning up, shining your collection or something, and you got your woke neighbor over there. Remember, they'll send, you have a Second Amendment right to open carry. Somebody calls, they should be telling the caller, hey, this is a Second Amendment state, open carry. Stop clogging up the line. This is the right of this country. Yeah, stop calling. Don't call again. They have a right to do that. No. There's a feelings police out there on the street. They're going to come take that off you, which would cost you illegally, can't do. Take that and take your second before, and then because somebody called and somebody's scared, they're going to come. No, they are. They're going to come do it. No, instead of telling the caller and not bothering this jackboot thug cop that I used to be myself, a corporate thug, extorting people's bank accounts and Venmo accounts and cash apps and whatever money where you use your currency or however form. But these people go out and extort this capital letter law, the straw man, the Wizard of Oz law. Is what it is. It's all it is. It's your tin man and your straw man. Your tax ID number, your social security number, that's a bond made by your blood contract. It's part of this corporation called America. It's corporation. It's not the original constitutional republic. Remember, I told you this all changed, but people don't know this. They don't know their rights. He said, my people will perish for lack of busos. And he stood up to the law. He said in Ephesians 5, be not partakers of their unfruitful works of darkness. These are the darkness of the world. These jackboot cop thugs in America, don't stand up for nothing. They do nothing during the COVID, and it doesn't matter if they're educated or not. They're all supporting Badman Orange. Remember, he loves cops. And he will take your Second Amendment right. And it doesn't matter if they put Kamala in, I still think he's coming back. They'll replay something that's already happened in history, where the deadly head wound in scriptures of the beast was healed, right? Was when Constantine rebranded, which was the two pontiffs outlawed Baphomet worship, transgender God, the Satan, the one born in December in a manger, baby manger, Mary and Jesus. Horus and Isis, that orgy Jesus, the orgy barnyard bestiality, barnyard Jesus. Remember that one? Born on December 25th. 1 week later, you're banging pots and pans in the middle of the new year. So remember, this is what they're going after, brothers. This whole system is, again, if you look at everything they're doing right now, is by this Baphomet God, this twisting of time to have the whole world on not 5784, right? But it's 2024. No, it's not. That's the twisted calendar, this Baphomet worship of this Baphomet God that Mr. Thump has his house decorated with. Yeah, his whole house is dressed. That's his motif or motif, if you want to use motif, if you will, would be, some people. I live in a cabin. Everything looks like it's a movie set. John Wayne, whatever. Um, but some people like Aztec. They've got that Aztec print, or some people like Asian, and that's the motif. His is all obviously Satan. Apollyon, the sun god, Lupercalia, the dog god. Are you serious? Uh, but anyways, that was good. But that is the bringer of the disease and the cure of the beast, Mr. Warp Speed. I'm talking about, right? Are you talking about Donald Trump, or are you talking about Apollyon? No, I said Donald Trump has his house decorated with Satan, and he lives in a 58-story Nimrod. It's not Nimrod Tower. Satan's tower was 58 stories, and so is Donald Trump's tower. So just so you know, that you do the math and you tell me what he lives on the 66 penthouse floor too. Oh, that's decorated with the sun god Apollyon. And so you tell me he doesn't know that how to drop 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes and put up 1 tower, a transgender building? Well, no. Well, 3 triangles up and 3 triangles down to form 1 phallic, a tower, if you will. 3 in 1, like their transgender Baal Baphomet god that Mr. Badman Orange says, nope, take them first, and prosecute you later. Just like they come up on the street with these cop jackboot thugs and say, hey, I need to see your, license. We don't need a license to travel. I'm tired. It's so funny to go and look through the comments of these people who don't know how to audit law enforcement officers, this corporation. If you're not part of it, then, like I said, I think that's again why some of this logistical things in my life that's going on, they're just having a tough time. They don't know what to do. You can't prosecute somebody that will not, kind of like, what was it? True Blood or something. You got to let the ghost in, you have to give the authority. They will give their power and authority to the beast, the jackboot cop thug there that's saying, give me your license. What about my 9th, 10th Amendment? What about my 4th Amendment? What about all my right to, that's always been here? Never had to slap a license on the back of an ass to write. What do you want me to write in somebody's private property to get to town? I'm going to get shot. They have that right under the 4th Amendment as well. Remember, that's under the same amendment to be free, right? To not, well, no, rights. I have the right. It is called a logistical right. I have the right to travel warrantless. You can't stop me. You have to have a warrant to stop. You have to cost my body unless I've committed a crime. Then you'd have to have what is called reasonable articulable suspicion that I have. You have to show me that. It's called probable cause, articulable suspicion, reasonable suspicion. And because I'm traveling, I don't have some tag on the back of my ass or my whatever means that I'm traveling. I'm not engaged in commerce for the corporation called America. You are part of that corporation. I am not. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm not a naturalist. I have rights to this land that have always been here, organic and natural rights. So I'm not all capital letters. You can't write my name. I don't care how it goes in your system. You try to write me down as Tracy, Werner, whatever. It's not. I'm not all part of capital letters. That was a blood contract that you made with, my mom and dad. But they were hippies. They smoked pot. They probably took the doctor out and did some mushrooms. I don't know. Were you there? Can you prove it? In this, you still to this day, I have the right, which is if you take me to trial and try to prosecute me, I have the right where you have the preponderance or the burden of proof to prove that I've committed that crime. And you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my name is Tracy Werner. How can you do that? Were you there? I told you my parents, see, you can't prove that my name is Tracy Werner. You can't prosecute me. How do you know I'm Tracy Werner? I'm not part of that. I don't do that. I don't recognize that. I'm not part of that. I won't go by that. And they can't. See, you have to willingly give your authority to them. And these jackboot corporate thugs, they don't know what they're doing. You think that God cares about that? No, he made that way. These corporate thugs called cops, there's not one good single cop in America. They stood down. Watch. Oh, let's make it forward. Oh, okay. City councilwoman gets called by a lady who says, oh, this transgender Iowa gang's trying to throw me out. They're throwing everybody out of here. And I need somebody to, I can't do anything. I don't know where to go. And I have nowhere. She's an older lady and calls the city councilwoman, because these are the guys with guns, right? They're going to stop you and harass you if you got a gun, and should have told the caller, no, they have the Second Amendment right. They take. So city councilwoman gets a call from somebody living in Aurora, Colorado. She's a city councilwoman, and goes, I need help. What do I do? Please, I need the law. I need somebody in that. It's not a bad contact. She says, I'll meet you down there. She meets the lady down there to help move her out, guys, because they're threatening her. She don't know what else to do. So she starts moving her stuff out of this apartment complex in Colorado. And this has been going on for months. You guys are sleeping on this if this is news to you. Okay. And longer than that, it's been going on for years, like I told you, but this is starting in the news. It's already been it. But anyway, so this lady, city councilwoman, meets the cops down there. And before this lady, again, I've already said this, can move all her stuff out, these people are already moving their stuff in. And the cops, we can't get involved. This is a civil matter. So F the police. F the police in America. You're thugs. You're corporate thugs. I rebuke you. You're all thugs. And if you ever shoot me, you already had a chance to shoot me and you didn't, huh? You came to shoot me, but that wasn't what you bragged what you were going to shoot me, state of Oregon. You did. You says, I got some logistics that are going on in my life, but go watch the live streams and stuff. I ain't tripping. Yeah. And the father had it differently, huh? He even shot my son. How'd that go down? How's he still alive? Look at the live stream. Go watch what happened. At least 6 or 7, 8 rounds. I don't know how many rounds they pumped at him, but they already shot me in the face. They didn't hit me with they tried to flush me out of here, brothers, sisters. I tangle with the law because they're a bunch of thugs. I've gone against the government. I've gone against the enemy is the government. I already told you. The enemy is the government and everybody who works for this government, okay? I'm pinpointing a very big thing right now that you don't see. I'm making a very big point. Did you just hear what I said? The cops are not going to get involved. You're a second-class citizen, America. This is the documentation of the destruction, the crumbling of the final days where the wheels have already come off. We already went off the cliff. The Wile E. Coyote. Now this thing's just sitting there floating, waiting to go. We're already starting our descent. Aha! Sit there and think you can grab a hold and make America great again. Get out of here. Brothers and sisters, Bad Man Orange. He is front running this, just so you know. Just like World War II. Oh, we can't go over to the mainland. There is an American behind every blade of grass with the Second Amendment item. And they all have these NHRA and Ruger and Smith & Wesson and all these. I think they're all in cahoots because every time they have one of these fake Sandy Hoax events, you better be careful, Tracy, Alex Jones, but whatever. Zionists. But anyways, they sell more Second Amendment items, skyrocket. So there's so many more of those items in this case. It's not Second Amendment items that kill people, brothers, sisters. It's people. I'm not into any of that. I don't want part of none of that. I only have Second Amendment item to shoot something I'm going to eat fast so I can eat it, doesn't suffer, and I can use the meat. Okay, that's period. I don't care to even protect. I plan on very soon going on foot if I have to very soon. I've made my decision already. I'm not going to let any of this, whatever happen. Yeah, there we go. So Keza sees what I'm saying. I think they're all in cahoots. The NRA and brothers, sisters, it's a joke. They need to get this out of the hands of Americans so that they can bring this second-class citizen. They're going to use these second-class citizens. No, they're your second-class. They're going to use these other people to take them, put helmets on them, blue, and say, go get them. I already told you. And they're going to do this under Thump already gave away this country for 6 months. This is a documentation again. It's satire of the fall of America, destruction, that during the whole cove, the big cove, beer bug, the greatest jab ever, Operation Warp Speed, gene therapy, that whole roll up your sleever, medical procedure, and the great injection, right? Greatest injection ever. Remember that? He turned over this country to the emergency. We're going to scramble it up. Agency, federal emergency management. Yeah, that was given up. This country, this country was run by an outside agency for 6 months. And you can't back. I already told you, I said this on this blog as Truth Viral, telling you, and you can't go back for 6 months, YouTube. it was during the Obama administration. How long ago was that when he passed those? What was that? It was like 2008, 9, 10. Well, I've been doing this a long time on this blog. Been on the Alex Jones show. Done all this for, how long have I done this, guys? Boy, time just keeps slipping by. True Viral wasn't my first channel that I did. But I was telling you that 923 of these executive orders, that one of them, you know, again, was that they could relocate whole communities and put you into work camps. Oh, there you go, second-class citizen. Get the hell out. These new ones are moving in. Ha ha! And you don't think, and I'm nutty for 6 months ago, banning anybody for the smiley face because it made my PTSD. Remember that the Waltons were the ones interning Americans born here in America. This already happened. People know it's not going to happen here. They went after a certain class. It's just be a repeat, nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand where this country's headed. People don't realize it. And I, Jimmy Crackhorn, don't care. I'm not addressing it anymore. It's a documentary satire. We'll just do that every time. Whatever. I think I can get away with this now. People do that, and whatever. It's, you got to go with the algorithm, man. Do it. Go with the flow. It's a guy. How'd you live being you were a Jew and during the World War II? It's a pretty crazy story. True though, historical record. How'd you survive the Holocaust? Well, I became a Nazi. Not even supposed to say that. That's not good for the algorithm, but it's historical satire for the record, so should be able to get away with it. Wow. It's crazy how this algorithm works now. So whatever, it's tailor fit for you, brothers, sisters. You searched Murray lawnmower, or, you know, you don't get 3,974 results, all of us the same. Now it's tailor fit. We all get different results now. It's called the meta. Remember, Mr. Zuckerberg, Utah, all these places, they store all this data. All right. Anyways, brothers, sisters, Bad Man Orange is front running this. I already can see it because he's already fronted this, you know, bump stock, and I already told people he's not second pro amendment. He's pro second taking your amendment or right. That's why he's bad man orange red Second Amendment law, where we'll take him first and prosecute you later. I front run this on this channel and already told you this. This will be done during this next administration or right nearly after. I'm only going with the evidence because the Simpsons have never let me down. You see this line here I see of this channel? They have Trump laying on that horizontal line in a casket. I think they're going to replay the deadly headwind that was healed, brothers, sisters. They already earmarked him and did their occult ritual with their, go see many fish, please see many fish, many fish, many fish. Blood on the pinky, thumb, ear, and foot is an occult ritual. Go check it out. Check out the channel Many Fish and subscribe to that channel. I've been watching him. He's been blogging as long as I have, maybe even a little bit longer. So when I said back at this 923 executive orders, brothers, sisters, where they can pass these, they took over your pawn, they could take over everything. Everything could be taken over. Travel. Look at my video. It is called, the channel is called Truth Viral, and it's Obama's 923 executive orders. He puts out more executive orders than all the presidents ever before him, a larger number. And under those executive 11004, they interred American citizens. They don't think it's going to happen here in America again, but it is going to happen. See, they're doing all this it's all going by this book, just so you know. Everything is, oh, look at that. I just did the Donald Trump with the upside down book. It's all going by this, because this markers that we keep telling you with this twisted calendar is aligned with the Saturn, the sun god down here. They prayed to Saturn because they thought the sun was going away. Kronos, it down here in the winter, birthed in the winter, and the sun on the tree with the sun on top of that's Baal in the Grove worship. And that's what everybody worships now, brothers and sisters. The whole class of society is okay with this twisted ritual, these twisted laws called corporation, jackboot thug cops going out there and extorting your 10 straw man, Wizard of Oz law. Yeah, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto. What a change. What a change to this constitutional republic. But to take your Second Amendment rights is the final frontier, the passing of the Rubicon for them, if you will, because then they can make the change here with the society that will do what they're told. Because they'll be paying them, and they're already started doing that. This Trojan horse that's been ruled rolled into this country, just like in Europe, they created all these wars over there in the desert, and they put in a bunch of Muslim people over there. And Europe is not, now they said it's too white, but there are no-go zones over there. The law enforcement won't even go. Yeah, it's happening in America. Remember Trans de la Arawa? That is happening here in this country. There's been 5. They have these people in Texas stealing water trucks, trying to break in and steal oil at the largest oil facility, copper. This is already happening. Try to remember. I keep going over this, though. What would Christ do? There are a lot of people who've come over here as these people already missed meals. Most Americans have never missed a meal in their life. They're hopped up on sugar and they play video games all day or whatever, gripe at the wife, come home, beat the dog, whatever they, or stay home all day. A lot of them just stay home, play video games. Maybe go to the dispensary, get some of that fake cannabis that they sell at the dispensary, auto flower, all this just filthy, disgusting. That's not medicine. It's freaking drugs, what they've created, just filthy, all this liquids and glycol and all that. The dragon's already taken over that. I've been a medical cannabis grower and I've seen it. I'm in a state where they have both recreational and medical, and the dragon is already here. And so I believe the dragon's already inserted its little into the, here, take a puff off my pen, the magic dragon. You're getting pretty deep there, Tracy. Well, stop calling me Tracy. I said, who? You can't prove that my name is Tracy. Were you there that day? Well, my parents did that blood con. I'm not part of that. I'm a man of the land, and so I'm coming back here again. I'll either lay in this dirt, born of the ashes. I'm a man of the land, born of sin, as soil. I'll go back to the land, to the dirt, ash to ashes, dust to dust, born of the land and its soil. So that's my right. I have a right since the beginning. I'm eternal. You can't take my eternal right from me. Whatever, judge me how you will. God will. He's my judge. Throw me in front of your magistrates and I without counsel. He is my counsel. I shall not worry what I shall say or answer, for the Lord are with me. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. He said, fear no man that can take your flesh. Only fear who can take your soul, brothers and sisters. Remember I told you that willingness. It's hard to, no weapon formed against the word of God shall prosper. Hallelujah. That armor, put on the armor of God, cast off the works of darkness, put on the whole armor of God. So this is all happening not by chance, all by God's will. Self-will, like he creates people to do these things. No such as free da dum 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 or free will, only self-will. That is the Greek word porneia. Nobody ever studies the word in the original text in the glossa. It's foreign to them. It's alien. So they can look through the glossary and they find the dialectus that they're looking, the dialect, the tongue. No such thing as speaking in tongues. Never has been. That's not what that means. So anyways, brothers, sisters, this is happening not by chance, happening because he knows where every single time the dice, even if you weight them, will land. You can't cheat or stack the deck. He already knows. He already chose. That's the beautiful thing about the bride and the elect, that teach the predestination. And then everything's not predestined. Only his bride is predestined. Most people are going to hell. Predestined is the word Greek pro-orizo. Means the division. He's imprisoned us again. Remember this sin, this flesh that I told you, this darkness, born of this, everything. Only if you separate light from dark, and it's possible to do, you would see that light will never let darkness touch it ever. It always pushes it away. And dark always attracts the light. That's why he is, I am, without flesh, does not exist with darkness. Anything that's never been defiled is a virgin, and he's taking virgins to the wedding. Those that didn't defile them with these traditions of men by perverting even one jot or tittle of his word. Like Israel, who were the heavens, the ruling class, no nation could come against that heavenly. Yes, here on this earth, heaven. Yes, whoever, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Your enemy will come against you one way. I will make them flee 7 ways. Right? Remember that army of 7,000 men that destroyed that earthly, heavenly army. Israel, the nation of Israel, was the heavens, the ruling class. Remember, I told you earlier in the lesson, heaven's not above your head, earth's not below your feet. Earth is the people, and that earthly army, 120,000 man army, was slaughtered, annihilated by that 7,000 man army. Go read the Lanecountychoppers Strong. There's a 10-volume set that you can find and read through there if you want to know what the heavens are. It talks about it in the Old Testament. It talks about in. Anyways, brothers, sisters, remember he said, if you don't love me, if you don't follow my commandments, if you don't agape me, I'll make your enemy will come against you, and I'll make you flee 7 ways. So, yeah, the sword, the famine, the pestilence, and the beast. The beast is when your enemy surrounds you or carries you into captivity. Back to the lesson. Executive Order 11004, YouTube allows the Emergency Management Agency to relocate whole communities and put you into work camps. Who do you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be those people who are coming into this country, or you think it's going to be you, Whitey? You don't think it's going to happen? Go for it. Just keep blue helmets. They keep signaling blue. Paint your roof blue. I don't know. Starting to see a new thing, something a little different. I seen a thing because we all seen the, remember Mountain Dew? Don't you speak in Mountain Dew? In a different dialect? You don't speak in tongues, foreign glossa, right? You don't speak Mountain Dew. You don't remember the whole "Do me, baby"? No, blue helmets in America. No, blue roofs, right? Where was that at? I don't know. Missing children? I wonder who did that. Red did the blue. Yes, red did the blue. Do you guys speak in colors? I thought we were just speaking in Mountain Dew. I speak in colors and Mountain Dew. Red did the blue. Red did the put that stuff in the dragon, put it in the dispensaries, in the glycol, in the pen. Here, hit the puff the magic dragon one time and it's in you. Kind of like the old, they just got to put it in you. Remember? That's what Mr. Thump wanted to do. Just put it in you. How's that sound, ladies? Here, let me put in just the tip. Ended up getting the whole shaft, didn't you? Virology. Pretty silly. But anyways, a virus is part of your immune system, brothers, sisters. Hope you understand. It's not a living organism. Remember Mr. Warp Speed? He gave this country over to the emergency federal agency management. We're doing a word salad there, just so you know. Little verbal voodoo for you. Careful. You get stung by the spelling bee. All right. So, yes, he did. He turned this. Does anybody know that? Please make a comment. There's 20 of you in there in this chat right now. Did you know that for 6 months, this country was not run by Mr. 45? He turned it over, remember, with his buddy, Mr. Falsey, #1 paid government official. Yes, behind a little troll. Brought you the virus. Remember the auto deficiency immune syndrome? Good. You better have some cannabis in your system. That cures all that, right? The immune system. You got cannabis in you better be growing your own. Everything. Tomatoes, vegetables, cannabis. Better have some medicine for when things break down. That's right. Might want to break that medicine down. Yeah, just be a trichome farmer. Know what you're doing. So anyways, does anybody want to have an opinion in the matter? Did you know that Mr. Thump, Mr. 45, this during the whole national emergency authorization, this is all for satire. Okay, emergency agency, the whole 50 states, not martial law, but it was a national declared that $2.2 trillion solicited the American public by creating that national emergency. If there was one state they could have had some kind of, they would have never been able to, but they had to make it 50. Okay, cool. Because most people don't that. I'm trying to, I'm just doing a documentary here. So really try not to do too many more answer questions because I just want to keep going and do much better when I just do the work I was here to sent to do. But I do want to just not shut the channel off. I'm a pastor, I teach, and we'll always stop for the word. But most people don't know that. And so the problem that I had about it, if you go back, Buck, on my channel where I'm putting out, I'm TV, I'm the host of Truth Viral Television, where the truth goes viral. So I did my blog back then here on this channel. I don't know, it was probably about 10 years ago or something. I was warning during the Obama administration how long ago that was. It was, obviously we're further into this mess, then, just the same thing continues. Whether it's red or blue, it's two cheeks to the same dragon, or two cheeks. No, two cheeks to the same hole, two wings to the same dragon. Right. So the saga continues. The main underlying, the red blue is just that they did it during Rome. They did the same thing during Rome. Exactly. This is all just another reenactment of what the fall of Rome. That's why the Pope's name is Jorge Bergoglio. No, it's not. It's what? That's the Pope's name. What do they call him? Francis. No, that was the name of the Pope during the fall of Rome. Francis. So, anyways, they love playing with society, man. They're people who don't know their history. My people perish for lack of busos knowledge. And history's, you got the right side. Remember, the victor gets the spoil. The loser gets to ST. He doesn't get the right history. He's wrong. So he gets left out. He's on the left side. It gets left out. And then there's reality, right? So, got to be able to read between the lines, People don't. They just want to be biased, one-sided, and believe they're red. Now, you can't even, America won't even. I grew up in a country, brothers, sisters, where in this supposed country, people didn't even put red or blue on there. They didn't even put red rags or blue rags on, in people's pockets. Go get them. You got drugs and you got prostitutes. You got prostitutes and you got guns. And, they started to create a war over red and blue, just like they did in Rome. On the streets, give them some gangster rap. I think Mr. Snoop is going down next. When Snoop goes down next, and I don't like to see, brothers, sisters, God will condemn these people, but I've been trying to explain to you that man is just sheer. I watched the fall of civilization, brothers, sisters, in our own communities, so to speak, from brothers and sisters, no matter our color, whether you were white or black, people did get along. Grew up in elementary school, went to junior high school, went to high school, and that's about the time they brought out this, here, you have a red rag, you have a blue rag. And these people were mortal enemies overnight. They were mortal enemies just on one side of the street because this was their set, and that's the way they created that. And they did that with that gangster rap too. It's creating that, separation of the nuclear family of the mom and dad, the, front porch, the whole, to dad's in jail and, and now the kids out on the street becomes, supported by this gang culture to take care of them. Mom's working 2 jobs. She can't raise him. He can make mom's rent in a day, pays mom 3 months rent. He takes the protection from the streets, where people don't even understand the gang culture either. Thought about writing a book on this, brothers, sisters. And it's low vibration too, but this is all easy. And they all sold themselves out to the music industry. Some of them, like we're seeing, some of these people in the industry are exposing and eating themselves right now. The proof of the apocalypse is here is Sean Combs showing that all these lies are being pulled off to show you that truth that was there, that many of us knew all along, that there's these kingpins. How do you have a 50-foot bed or something in the back of your house and have these big orgy parties? That's the exact thing that they did during, these are Baphomet parties. These are Baal worship. This is all this, like, Trav says, this low energy. It's just part of what the so it's hard to. This is the time, brothers and sisters, we're going to continue to see this. So I'm not a prophet, but I do believe Snoop is going to be the next to fall, because I watched all this grow. It was so hard to see a friend of mine who, because I didn't participate in that, but he did. He wouldn't talk to anybody now because it became the gang culture. And then the gangster rap really pushed the culture to people. I mean, it affected people all over the world, or gangsters, doing this red and blue and Crippin' blood. And it's just division. It's just division. It's divide and conquer. And brothers and sisters, think about what I'm saying. Mom is working her butt off, 3 jobs, dad's in prison. Now mom's on the system. If she's not, then she's on the system. That's what they want. That's what they were creating. If not, mom's working 3 jobs. That's how this makes this. And he does listen, brothers and sisters, if you've never grown up around this, it doesn't even have to be. It's called brotherhood. It doesn't have to be red or blue. It's called protection from the brotherhood. People that got your back, like the largest gang in the world is not red and blue. It's red and gold. It's the Bandidos. It's a motorcycle gang. Is actually the largest part. Grew up red and white. Okay. Been around that. my brother chapter of Red and Gold, it's truly, 1%, a 1%, not these other, if anybody's in that culture, a 3-piece chevron rockers, the whole, not some, that's fine. People can ride bikes, but they don't understand what that is. What I'm trying to, if you don't know what I'm talking about, brothers, sisters, like the Hells Angels aren't the largest motorcycle MC club. You might want to call it a gang, because a gang, they say that a gang by definition, when I was in law enforcement, 4 or 5, 6, 8, these numbers, or it could be a little, but all heavily armed, wearing the same color, going around and harassing, extorting the general public. You talk about the cops, Tracy, red and blue, or thin blue line. Oh no, I'm talking about these, the definition of what was called a gang, and so they're called clubs. They're motorcycle clubs, MC, but there are 3-piece clubs that are truly 1%. There's not a bunch. The Hells Angels are one. They're red and white. The largest gang in the world that can produce more numbers, meaning I call and you don't question. I don't care if you got a wife, kids, a job, what you're doing. You get on your horse, bike, whatever, in this case, a motorcycle, and you meet at a certain point without question. Okay? Without question. And they can produce more numbers than anybody, brothers, sisters, anywhere. So Red and Gold is the largest gang. I know my brother, again, part of this, tried to get me into this, come on, I'll get you in, you're already hanging around, you're already, but he had a chapter, of Red and Gold, Guerreros, and this is it's another, this is Red and Gold, this is the Banditos, is the largest gang in the world. And what a gang is, just so you know, is brotherhood, meaning you got somebody that got your back, no questions asked. The culture and music, that would be what is that? The Hatchet, the guys that paint their face, in music, they got that same thing going. That's a brotherhood, whether you understand what that is. ICP. Jesse, don't dispute me in here. I'll just toss you out of here. You don't get to dispute anything I say in here. Too bad. Jimmy Crack Corn. Thank you. They're not a gang. That's what they're called. Cops are gangs. Cops are thugs. Don't sit there and effing me and get the F out of here. Pound sand. I'm a veteran. I gave you the right to speak up. I'm a man of God. I'm protecting the natural rights of this world. You don't like it, Jimmy Crack Corn, and I don't care. So, brothers and sisters, it's all about a culture. It's about divide and conquer. So, this is what the government calls a gang. I'm telling you that it's a brotherhood of people that will show up and have your back with one phone call. One call does it all. Kind of like my life, all these weird things. Just one call could make such a change, huh? So, people don't understand gang culture. They don't understand what it is. They don't understand the brotherhood, the protection, the money that flows around, that the government. All right, look, stop talking to me, dude. Stop disputing anything I say. Don't dispute anything I say or leave. This isn't a dispute anymore. This is a satire channel. So pound sand, kick rocks, Jimmy Crack Corn. I don't care. You ever heard of you ever watched Pug One? Zero Fox. Do you know who Doodle is? Like, they don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn, none. 0 F's given. How about Priest on Sunday? None. My dad used to tell me, hey, son, you know what kind of meat priest eat on Sunday? None. Ha ha. Mind over matter. Don't matter. Nothing you can say is going to matter. Don't worry about it. You're not changing anything. You're not going to change anything. If you dispute anything I say, again, I'll just throw you out of here. I don't want it. And normally, I don't even know why I'm addressing you. You don't need to put effing in my chat. I've already explained myself. I grew up around this. I watched it happen. Watched brothers kill each other that were friends. Shut the F up and get out of here. Now, leave. Actually, I don't want you in here anymore. Go do your own thing. Create your own blog. Do something. Create your own blog. Now it's time to do it. Speak up. So don't effing dispute me in here. You'll get tossed out. Not here. This is not no more dispute anything. This is all going by the will of the Father. This is all exactly happening, is written by, you're seeing an unwinding of time and space. In this time and space, I watch friends that grew up playing on the concrete, rolling around and having issues through school, but making it all the way to high school. And then this government comes in with rap music, gang, NWA, Eazy-E, ATL, all these, MC Ren, Yellow, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, LL, all this continuing, putting this in and watched it happen through the rap music, through the music industry. These people were paid with low vibration music to separate the families. People, again, that were friends from elementary school became mortal enemies overnight. So don't sit there and tell me effing this or F you, STFU. I watched friends die on the streets. We were around this. I grew up around death. I told you all I ever knew was death. We should talk about death more. People are so afraid to die. So what I'm trying to explain to you is we have a gang of people in here too, brothers, sisters. They don't know. You think trans de la no, they were grown up and made to be this culture, brothers, sisters. This is contrived by the devil. So I'm trying to get you to be able to pick out the good from the bad by using your spiritual filter, which is called, what would Jesus do? Or as he said, love thy enemy like thy love thy neighbor, like thy love thyself. So, and you got to remember, you're under this covenant where you can't strike back at anybody. You can defend yourself if they if they come at you, but you can't go after anybody. So you need to be careful. No, nothing's changed, Dave. As of still now, not one call. J.G. Wentworth, one call, do it all. So I got a call. I finally got some legal representation. But I already told him I'll fire him if he said, I said that in court, screaming at the judge. Oh, yeah, and you can't be for a whole year week legally. Just walk out again. Who's this? I'll fire this guy. If he doesn't talk about the 180 hours, walk out and point at the judge and scream, tell him he's illegal, and already telling the state and the county you're wasting taxpayers' money, you're all that nonsense. But no, I haven't talked to my son. I have no idea what's going on, but God's in control of it. I know that. But thanks for asking. I'm trying to do the best I can, with this situation. So, but the attorney did call me, just so you know. I finally had got some, and he's not from the county, which is good. I've done some research on him, and I called him up too and said, I'll fire you if you think you can even sit there and tell me I'm going to take a deal. Plus, you got to know I wasn't arrested under capital letter law. I'm not going to play their silly reindeer games. If you look and you get a hold of him, they'll tell you he's coming in here ripping everybody's butt when he comes in here. Last time I had every one of them, all the attorneys cornered every one of them. The judge, the lady who came on, told her, stop telling me what to say. I know my First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. And over the phone, no, hey, please, don't say it. Shut. I know on Miranda rights, I have the right to remain silent. And you assert your Fifth Amendment rights and be quiet and stop interrupting me. I'm asserting my First Amendment. Don't anybody interrupt me. And I'm continue to assert my rights. I know Miranda right. You as the state, or the county cannot even produce any, under my right of discovery, any video document footage, of a docu-cam or a body cam of me being Mirandized. So you drop this case, you're wasting the county's money. So it's okay. I'm not going to play their reindeer games. Last time I was a little confused because I didn't know what was going to happen. The time before I said on this blog exactly what would happen, and it happened this time exactly, or last time, not this prior, but before I had said exactly what would happen. It happened exactly as I said it would. This time I didn't know, but the Father showed me Luke 12 and 11. They'll drag you in front of their synagogues and their churches and their magistrates and their courts and their judges and their men in their black robe, and without counsel. And I was hadn't had that phone call that, oh, hey, you have an attorney now. They were saying that I might, and I was telling them, I doubt that the estate would pay for the funding because the state had to prove it. They're the ones who swatted my house. I thought they were going to come in and shoot and kill me. That's what That's what I know now. I'm certain they came here because they went and bragged the night before to these businesses that I stood with during the COVID, protested this police department, these sheriffs, this county, this district attorney, this whole state, Kate Brown, Donald Trump at the time. Yeah, putting on massive protests in this little county. You never heard of it, but we did. Heck yeah, we did. And stood up to the county and stood up to the sheriff's department and tried to get them to stand with the businesses. And they don't like, this guy. They hate me. I'm the state's biggest problem right now. I'm pretty sure of that. And the government is very aware of what I'm doing. And Jimmy Crack Corn, I do not care, because he said when they put you in front of in Luke, my court date before, last time, I don't know what's going on. I'm just doing what the Father tells me to do. He stood up against the law. They threw him in jail too. So, well, his son, because he stood up to the law. Most people don't even know what Christ did. Oh, he came back here with the bubbles and rainbows. And no, he came and stood up to the version of his Father's law. So I'm just doing what he said. Follow after me, conform to my image. And people get, caught up in this. So I'm not going to let, even if I get caught up in it, Jimmy Crack Corn. It's not about that. It's a bigger picture. So I'm making sure that they're held accountable for what's being done in this case, because there's been no accountability, and that's a problem here. I used to be a law enforcement jackboot thug. I know this law better than most people who serve in a law enforcement capacity now. They don't know any of the things that I say to them. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just a freaking programmed android. Ain't no different. Some troll who comes on here and says, oh man, you need some medication or something. They're just asserting their own nonsense. And that's all these cops. So I stood against these, cops and tried to get these businesses out here in this little tiny town some representation for the second time in the go around to not shut the businesses down, because OSHA was going to come in and do you got to have clamshells, you got to do this curbside service. We're going back to this 2 to 3 million small businesses in America shutter their doors and never open it up. Like the businesses in this community knew I was a prior law enforcement, very boisterous, have been coming out here since I came here, sat on the Chamber of Commerce and been giving this law enforcement hell since I've been out here, telling stop trying to enforce your jackboot thug laws on these people and leave the people alone. That's most 99%, about 95% of the people out here get left alone. The cops are able to intertangle with about 5% of this public out here through just whatever. They're just through the farmers. They do this with the farmers out here, live in a farming community. They're in on it. The farmers are the cops. They're the same damn thing. They're in cahoots with each other. So I've gone after both of them and said, you guys aren't going to sit here and control this town anymore and tell me this town ain't going to grow. Yes, it will. It's economic. You have come in here and you've had people like you before, but everything I've said to these farmers has happened. And most of the things that I said to the cops has eventually come to fruition. So when I was trying during the COVID, during the second time, to get them to stand up with this community and say, hey, no, you get your cop cars out here, you get your deputy out here, and you come when OSHA says, and tell them to get the hell out of here. Don't you remember the standoff during the Bundy standoff? All the feds were there on the bridge, and they, the big holdup, and the elected sheriff came in and said, get the fuck out of here. You have no authority here. I am the elected sheriff. Kick rocks. And the feds left because they know that most elected sheriffs don't even know they hold that authority. Seriously, this Michael Taylor in this Lake County, I bet he has no, even though I blogged and said it over and over and over again, that he has that authority to run the feds. So I was asking in this time in this town, hey, look, let's be this only town in America where the elected sheriff comes in and stands up and runs off OSHA. And so I couldn't get the support of the sheriffs. They're told you, they're thugs, they're laydowns, they're corporate thugs, and they need all to be fired now because none of them stood up for, this is supposed to be the freest country of rights. And we should have been the one country. Well, no, in America, they're doing all this COVID, but in America, these people aren't doing no X. And no, they're not doing that. They're free people. They said, F that. We have freedom of choice to wear the mask or not. No, we're not doing it. No, they just push this on everybody. Wear your face diaper, act like children, participate in our masquerade. It's an occult ritual. Cover your face, just like at the satanic parties, and do what we tell you. Get ready for your injection. Mr. Warp Speed, the bringer of disease and the cure of disease, is going to bring it faster than anybody ever has before. Remember, it takes 12 years to create through short, medium, and long-term trials. But Mr. Warp Speed is going to declare that a national emergency, again, usurping under the Emergency Authorization Use Act to create and solicitate the American public for the greatest injection, greatest jab, Belter, the ultra jab, remember gene therapy, greatest Operation Gene Therapy, right? mRNA spike protein mimicker, go into your DNA, your 2 strands of protein, tap into the one side of your protein to create the spike, Wuhan spike. It takes 12 years to create that jab. Now they just did it in, less time than it takes a woman to come to child, that it took the revelation sign to come to fruition in the firmament. Hallelujah. Mr. Warp Speed. Remember, the greatest injection ever, the #1 selling product ever in history of mankind, brothers and sisters, ever. The #1 drug dealer on the planet ever, Donald Trump. Pfizer, #1 selling product, the jab, the greatest jab ever. Remember, the creator of the jab, Mr. Warp Speed. Never forget who created this jab. He took, hey, I am the chosen one, he said. This is what his job, he's here to do. Remember, the Operation Roll Up Your Sleever, Mr. Warp Speed himself, Mr. Gene Therapy. Remember, he talks about people having good genes constantly. Go look that up. Look up Donald Trump saying how many times he says people having, you'll see he says it repeatedly. Oh, they got good genes. They got, what's this with this guy? He's like diarrhea, like it runs in the genes, right? Disgusting. But anyways, brothers and sisters, in this case, I'm standing against these thugs because these same cop thugs will not recognize something that I can easily prove by the constitutional right. I have the right to present the discovery of my evidence. And they won't pay attention to anything. They just do what they want out here. They just do. That's what I'm saying. They're all thugs. They ain't no different than any other town. And in this case with my son, he ended up getting involved with somebody that was in probation, that was a paid rapist, that was paid to be here in this county after being released into 13 years of a 25-year sentence, had 12 years remaining, was released out of a rape cage to be into the public again. And so he's lying about it. My son got involved with this through his mastermind, and this is all how this happened at the same time, just so you know. My son got in trouble. He made a mistake or whatever. They didn't produce anything, any actual evidence, but let's say he did all of it. It don't matter. He still did more time than anybody. He's the only one actually do any time. They all got charged except for the rapist. How's that? They all got charged except for the rapist. No, the rapist never. My son served nearly a year in jail, and the rapist was out free. Would you not speak up? The county say, what are you doing here? Would you not speak up the district attorney? What are you doing here? Would you not speak up the elected sheriff? What the hell? This is criminal. How's this going on? How are you guys allowing this? Hey, actually, I figured it out. Oh, you're getting paid for this rapist to be in this county. Oh, wow, I've done a statistical fact, and I found there's more rapists, murders, and pedophiles in this county than anywhere in the state. I'm actually looking, this is not being just done here in America or here in Oregon in Lake County, but this is being done in many counties across the United States where they release on contract paid and let those rapists, murderers, and pedophiles out of prison and release them back into society. Gee, you got involved in a lot of crap, Tracy. Whatever. F this government, F Donald Trump, F Obama, F Jimmy Carter, F Nixon, F George Washington. He was a Mason. At least he had some sense to ban Christmas, but other than that, and no foreign entanglements. Hallelujah. Other than that, FJ, GW, and JB, and DT, and all of them. They're all a bunch of criminals, and they're all part of this system, this B system that legally has me now trying to, but they can't prosecute me. When they arrested me, they asked me my name. I said, my name is Apocalypse. My name is Revelation. Oh, that's not your name. That's false official statement to a police officer. Ooh, another charge. Cool. So it's all documented. The father was there, and I did what I said I was going to do. I said on this blog, you can go documentation. I said, I've streamed for hundreds of hours before they even came and swatted my house with my son and his wife here, my daughter, illegally arrested her. You know what I'm saying? This is God's working, man. There's no way it should even gone this far. When you stand and you hold protests, brothers, sisters, let me show you how much I pissed off this county that I live in. And I'm not afraid of any of them. Even been trying to get the elected sheriff to get off his butt and do something. Show me, hey, you got the power. Use it now. I put out a meme during the COVID because they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't stand up with these businesses. We want you to come out here. The businesses owner are leaning on me. You're a prior law enforcement officer. We know that, Tracy. You're obviously very aware of, your vernacular, your understanding of law. And we need your help here. You've been standing up for this community. What is their legal right to do? And so, because I get treated very well, not by many of the community members, which are the rich farmers, but there are some businesses out here that aren't owned by the rich farmers. Some restaurants, I'm in the food industry and been in and managed 5-star, worked and, whatever, but as well as been in law enforcement, the community business owners relied on my knowledge, and we researched, and I show them where we would go with it. That OSHA can't do anything to you. They're just some corporation, and you're a business. You hold power to, hey, I don't want anybody coming in this business unless you wear a George Washington wig, you have on a clown, nose, and have big floppy clown shoes. They can put a dress attire. They can refuse service to you unless you dress like George Washington, or they can make an attire. A business owner has that authority in this country, brothers, sisters. People don't even know what some of the business, how the, whatever, they're part of this corporation, and they allow this to get their taxes from them, brothers, sisters. They allow a certain amount of things. Okay, so again, the business owners, I said, look, they're not going to, at first we tried to get the county to come in and stand with the businesses. And then we got, well, if they don't do anything, what's going to happen if we stand up? Because some people, Tracy, you're going to get thrown in Guantanamo Bay. This is a national emergency right now, Tracy. We understood you standing up to these farmers and all this, code ardent officer and exposing these cops. But Tracy, they just declared a national emergency. This is illegal. This ain't no national emergency. If there's a national emergency, then why is if you get this COVID, your chances of dying, you get it 100%. That your survival rate is 99.8%. If you don't have an existing condition, right, you're between the ages of, 18 or what they said to 60, your survival rate was, this is taking out older people that have existing conditions. They're getting ready by everybody that's on Social Security, all this low hanging fruit that they got to pay people. You don't understand. They're wiping out the middle class of our society. They're creating a 2-tier society, the haves and the have-nots. You'll see this middle class going to get, don't you see what they're doing? They're telling these businesses to close their businesses. The little taekwondo guy's got a little dojo. She got a little business where she sells, craft goods or whatever. They don't employ 100, 1,000, thousands of people. These are the backbone of our country that employ 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, a dozen, people in within this country, and they have to shut their businesses down, or restrict their hours, but these are just doing normal business hours because the bug doesn't get into the Walmart or the Piggly Wiggly or the Target. No, the big businesses got to stay open, remember? But the small business had to shutter their doors or do all these restricted hours, which ended up making them shutter their doors anyways, brothers, sisters, because they couldn't go straight. See, this was all pre-planned. The Koch brothers are in cahoots with Donald Trump. Koch brothers was all your plastics, all your oil, all your masks. They made money. The teepee, look into who the Koch brothers are. The teepee, the gloves, the mask, all this Lexan, all that was a big bank on the side, other than the number one selling product ever in the history of mankind is the jab, the Pfizer jab, created by Mr. Warp Speed, the number one drug dealer on the planet. They created the number one selling drug ever, product ever selling. The creator of that drug was Donald Trump. So now he's not only the biggest spender, but the biggest drug dealer ever in the history of the world, larger than the gangs and he look at Pfizer, Koch brothers record earning, Pfizer's, Johnson, Moderna had never even produced a human trial, whack the nation, vaccination, or whatever, you can say that. I think you say that vaccine. They hadn't, and they just put in warp speed faster than any child. He created it. Remember, he's a creator. Do you want to see what they did? What this did? I did from the beginning. It was calling it a scam, demic, telling everybody this is crazy. I'm a veteran. We wear masks, in a biological chemical environment, you got to cover your eyes and your ears, gas, blow out. You can't have a beard in the military because you have to have a full seal around your face. You blow out and in on that mask, it seals it to your face, and then you don and cover your ears to make sure you're wearing charcoal. There was no procedure. If this was truly a nuclear, biological, chemical, there was nothing followed. And then the decontamination procedures was absolutely, I started memeing the hell out of everybody, where's all our, stations? We got little red boxes for biohazard needle. Where's all the biohazard bins for these masks? We're catching this supposed worst, greatest ever, bug ever, right? And so this jab and all this, where's all these masks going? Where all this, they're laying in the streets, or it's just still to this day, they're still masks laying in streets. I see them, I'm like, it pisses me off. I don't go to public too much, or whatever, kind of a recluse, but stay away from town for a long time, periods of time. But anyways, brothers, sisters, this creation of this jab under this warp speed, again, if you see what this whole creation was to make these people rich, to take out the middle class and take out the people with existing conditions. And it did exactly that. That's exactly what it did. Because again, so that's why I'm standing with this small business telling these, sheriff, get off your ass, do something. Apologize for the cut. Well, ask the mule. So get up off your butt. You have the authority. Don't you remember the Bundy standoff? And just so you know, this is the same time that my son got in trouble. So I had problems with that. So I started exposing all the crookedness. There is the same guy, I do not think there was one other town or township that protested the sheriff, the elected governor, and the president in America. I do believe that Silver Lake, there's always a silver lining in everything, brothers, sisters. Not just me, we had quite the showing, which is pretty hard to do in this town, of people to show up and protest our police department, protest the sheriffs for not standing in with the businesses, because I kept trying to get them through communication of the town and the rich and the businesses. And look here, we want to stand up, come in, and who cares if we get on the news? Who cares if this is a national emergency? People come, you're going to get thrown in prison, Tracy. This is bigger than what you got to stand down during this. We love what you do out here, but this is bigger than you now. Shut up, get out of my face. Don't tell me what to do. I stand up for the rights. I'm a veteran. It says defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. There's a domestic enemy on the homeland. It's called Kate Brown. It's called Donald Trump. He turned this country over to FEMA for 6 months. You guys are idiots. And if you go back on my blog, I'll show you that, they don't have the right to redispute that for 6 months. That's why it's declared for that 6 months. Once it's declared, they cannot go back and dispute it. And that happened in this country. So all the things that I told everybody, no, it's not about this stupid face diaper. They're going to eventually stick you. Oh, come on, man. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. If it's bad, they're going to come up with a cure. It's called Hegelian dialect. They create a problem, and they have a pre-programmed warp speed cure for the problem that they've created. It's called Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution. Pre-planned problem. They know the public will react in a certain fact. They get to come in with a hero to fix the pre-planned problem that they already created themselves. Yeah, it was just 2 weeks. So this second time they came in, brothers and sisters, the second time they came in to flatten the curve, the business owners came to me and said, Tracy, we want to, I said, all right, before I said, all right, I think I got a way to get them off their butt. I've got all the farmers, people, whoever I could network with out here standing up, meantime, my son, whatever this happened, I said, look, boom. And it hit me like a frickin', all of a sudden, it hit me like a shot, boom. It was like that, a meme, because I was already meme. So I put the meme out on the local page, small community in cooperation with sheriff departments and business run off OSHA. Small town business in cooperation with local sheriff's department runs off OSHA. Meme. People thought it was real, brothers, sisters. Remember, people believe anything they see. Don't like Mr. Tricky Dick, Richard Nixon, but he did say Americans don't believe anything until they see it on television. You can replace that with the internet. So the meme went out onto the local page. I was like, well, we'll give this a shot. Yeah, that got their attention. This got this town's attention, brothers and sisters, because people do get on to some of it. There's people are very little clicky gabby out here. Some of the farmers' wives and some of these people sit out here and haven't got nothing to do, get on this internet and sit out their little space and be left alone, but they'll get on the internet. Well, everybody thought it was true. And the sheriff's office was pissed off at Tracy. Stop calling me Tracy. They were mad, guys. They were absolutely mad because everybody in this town thought that was what had happened, because they knew that I'd been reigning with the business, meeting with the business owners, meeting with the farmers. I knew people that were in the farming community. There were some good farmers out here too, or don't actually, who work for these farmers that are, well, they don't do nice things, but they are good, hardworking people. And they're not the millionaire billionaires themselves that are out here. The number one alfalfa on the planet is growing right here. And they're very proud of that. So Timothy hay, it's very high day. It's the number one it's all about what's in the hay and the anyways, moving on. I want to get off on that subject. So anyways, these farmers, like I said, in cahoots, in this town, it spread. And so everybody, as a whole thought that this meme was real. And the sheriff's office at that point, I backed them into a corner. And so this is why they say Tracy Werner will strike if you back him into a corner. It says it on their police report. That's their reason to come swap my house. I'm some bad guy because I'm violent or something. I'm never called for any violence. But if you back me in a corner, they said he's armed and he's evil. Okay, so moving on. It'll all go together here. I wish you wouldn't ask about my son, but here we are. We're just rolling with it. It's all organic. I ain't tripping. Thanks for coming in and whatever. Just it's a blog of the documentation of the fall of America. This is it too. This happens to people, brothers, sisters. One phone call, this all could have been taken care of years ago, but they're not. They're pissed at me, and they're actually targeting my son. I can prove that the police have targeted my son, that the district attorney has targeted my son through me to try to they rushed my son out of this county in 5 months and forgot what they did. And that's what's got him in this big, 180 hours that my son did for getting in trouble. Let's say he did all of it. He's the mastermind. It wasn't the rapist. It wasn't, it was this, they're all kids, 17, 19. This guy's 41 years old. My son's the mastermind. Okay, he served more time than anybody. And the rapist is still to this day the only one that hasn't been charged. That might still cause you to have a little bit of what the hell is that guy talking about? They still haven't looked at this day. So try to move through the teaching here and a little bit of lesson that use my life lesson to show you that the people get caught up in the system and they will not listen to you. Once you're in the system, you're screwed. Once you're, see out here, they're afraid of the cops. Nobody will speak up. And so these cops run people around who speak up out here to these farmers and these, see, this guy come out here, you ain't controlling this town. You ain't got economics going to take over. You didn't find the oldest clothing on the planet. They did not find that here because this place was nothing. This place was popping the most. There were 13 tongues spoken in this valley. You guys ain't nothing. There's older energy here than all of you. You just got some new money. Well, yeah, there's this oldest, they found an 18,000-year-old camel tooth in Riley, Oregon. They're announced that this is the oldest place in the Northern Hemisphere where I live. Potentially the oldest place on this earth because the oldest clothing was found here. Outdates anything from anywhere. So these farmers are holding a secret out here too. And I know what it is. I've already discovered what it is. It's the camp that's out here. There's a camp out here that holds a 3-state dump, if you will. They've been doing this for a long time. I've been pointing it out. That's why they don't want me here, but that's why God has me here. I don't care what people think on why. The Father puts us where he wants us to be exactly. He will give the woman the wings of an angel, and she will flee to the wilderness and give him the safety. He will look around right in the belly of the beast, okay? Possibly the entrance to the abyss. Look at where I'm at on a map. You'll see. Start using some maps. You might figure out Tracy's not that far off. Brother Jim's not that far off. Maybe you should pay attention to maps. They can tell topographical, these things that tell you a lot, They really will. So anyways, brothers and sisters, like I said, I'm trying not to go off on this, but you've got to use this experience. I'm only doing this because this is exactly what Christ would do. It only takes for evil to flourish for good men to stand around and do nothing. So I will sacrifice, martyr this flesh, not in violence. If they take it, it's because they chose to. I said, Mulan Lobby, come and take it, but I'm not going to act in violence. I will protect myself. I have that right. I'm a pastor and a teacher, and I'm providing my son that sanctuary, the place, because all you need to do is make one phone call to see that you have messed up dearly, and now you're targeting my son because you're mad at me. I can prove it in a court of law. I can put it in front of it. That's why I told this attorney recently, they can just listen to the 16-minute SWAT raid, and I guarantee their evidence. It's all, Trav, please, I don't want, this is a life documentary. Okay. Blessings for just being here. I'm just trying to, hopefully this all come to fruition in time. I don't know his timeline, but I think all things will work out for all of us, brothers and sisters. We will reap what we sow. The cream, always the inheritance you receive. Even if you don't get it here, that's okay. Remember, your treasure is in heaven, right? And not above our head, meaning the inheritance. Let no man take your crown. Okay. So if my son wasn't a good young man, I wouldn't stand so firm, but I'm also standing with the community, standing for the country. Who else do you know that protested Donald Trump and his rules? Fauci, all this, Kate Brown, the governor at the time, sheriff, the elected sheriff during the COVID. I don't think there was one other county, one other person that rallied enough people to bring a city council person out, have a prayer, hold a protest in front of the sheriff's office and say, stand with these businesses. We don't want them shut down. This isn't the first time, flatten the curve. This is the second time. We will not make it through. This one will shut down. You take one plate from this small business, you're not going to make it. This is now the second time. We can't do this again. Stand up, elected sheriff. Tell this government no. We want to have this independence from this. We want to do normal business hours. We've already seen the success rate of living if you don't have an existing condition or between the ages of 18 to 60s, 99%, 99.8% survival rate. How do we know if it's working? The survival rate goes from 99.8 to 99.9. I mean, come on, this is not a national emergency. This is a farce. The statistics prove it. This is about them sticking you and making money. Shut up, Tracy. You're going to get thrown in prison. The Fed's going to come out. You're attacking now. This is a national emergency, Tracy. Shut up. Stop telling me what to say. They just did that to me in court. Please don't say anything. Stop talking. I know my Fifth Amendment rights to be quiet. Stop interrupting me. I have a First Amendment right. You assert your Fifth Amendment rights when I'm speaking, and I do not interrupt me. I was doing that in court, saying in that same tone. It's all recorded. Is God is my witness. Is God, I told you I didn't know what to say. Remember, Luke 12, Tracy, do not worry. They will throw you in front of their magistrates and their synagogues, their men in their black robes, without counsel. Worry what ye now shall say or think or answer. I will tell you, And so blessings that the Father carried me through that day because I was at a loss. I could tell what was going to happen at the prior court date to a T. This one, I was like, ooh, what's going on this time? So anyways, brothers and sisters, all things will come to pass. I'm sure of it. God will not give you any more than you can handle. It feels like every day I'm dying. I have not been able to find out. Even this last time I went there, brothers and sisters, just to see my son ever, because I told you, I don't know if I'll ever see or talk to my son ever again as events are unfolding so, increasingly that we're all separated in separate locations. We were so close to my son finally coming out here because he'd already done all the hours back here, redid all his hours, his wife's document, and they just keep moving the goalpost on this young man because they're pissed at dad because I'm still to this day fighting with this county. Never have I stopped fighting with this government. I will never stop blogging. I will never stop doing this until they throw me in the dirt. I will stand 10-toe. I would rather be tried by 7 or a jury of my peers, however many, or than a man in a black robe. Hell no. I will take it to the box. I will do what the Father tells us to do. Do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. Expose them. I'm only doing what Christ did and what Christ is telling me to do. This is the same thing we should all be doing, and this wouldn't be happening right now. If everybody just stood up to these corporate thugs called Jack, look, no, I'm not giving you a license. I'm not engaged in the corporation right now. I'm not delivering pizzas. I'm not doing Uber Eats. I'm just going to check my mail. Stop. You didn't even have the right to pull me over. I don't need a license on the back of my vehicle. My 4th, 9th, 10th, there's rights that I have that cover me. Warrantless search or seizure, right? They came out here, brothers and sisters, that day and arrested my son's wife without showing that probable cause, reasonable articulable suspicion, okay? I've seen it now. Their evidence is that she said, which could be evidence, that she told my son, don't stop. Did they voice record that under discovery of evidence? Was that her, or did my voice crack and squeal? Was that something? Was that the tire making noise? They literally have put 2 felonies on his wife and on criminal conspiracy, which allowed them to separate all of us, that we conspired, because I'm the one who told him, do not stop this vehicle. You're not going to get ass raped by some man who can't keep his cock to himself. That's not a cuss word, so rooster. And so we have the evidence, son. We'll stand on it. And if something happens, well, then you're just going to have to get thrown in prison. And so do I. We'll just have to be like a thief on the cross. And God knows when to use what and who. And we're not here to get in any of that, So had that talk with him, and it saved the word of God. And God did it. But the word of God, I really wish somebody would someday do a documentary on this, so they could see this, guys, how this transpired someday. And maybe it could be inspirational for somebody who's been in the system or something. But like that day, the conversation is my son's super stressed out about being thrown in prison, which they're still today. I don't know. And I'm going to go back to what I was saying, because, I waited there that day to see him, brothers, sisters. I don't know if I'll ever be able to talk to my son ever again. Things are transpiring, And so when I went to court last time, I waited, and then I just went ahead and went up into the courtroom and started ripping everybody's butt again. I lit everybody up that day. Whatever. God said, don't worry, I won't know what to say. I'll tell you. So I just said the truth. I told him exactly. I didn't speak off cuff. I just basically stuck to the facts. And so again, I'm in a position now where it's not about me. It's not about my son. We're sitting there. He's awful stressed out. I think it was day 12 of 17 days of us trying to get calls. We literally had thousands of calls made to both these counties. I believe Lady in Red, she kind of kept a tally for me. I was very overwhelmed at the time and not sleeping but 1 or 2 hours a night. And because I'm concerned that any day they're stalking this house. They're getting ready to do the SWAT raid. I know they are. I'm telling them they're on. Like, just call me. We can figure this out. Stop wasting all these resources. Why are you stalking my house? You just drove on my property, state of Oregon. I have video footage on the live stream. Why didn't you stop and talk to me? Now I know you're involved. What the hell? This is between me and the county. Now you're stalking my house. Stop. And there's a lady here that, I'd want you to talk to. She's involved in this, right? No, she has nothing to do with this. She's caught in the middle of this. Would you please come take care of this one call, and we can get this straightened out? Let's talk about Elijah's 180 hours. He already did. Nobody wants to talk about it. We've put in hundreds of calls. I have personally. He has spoken with attorneys on this. There's plenty of evidence to prove this was already done. Ping his phone. How about all the witnesses he did? You rushed him out of the county because you were pissed at me. You've forgotten that you made him do more hours than some of the other people that were working during the time. He's the only one to do time out of everybody involved. You already were targeting him to begin with. So, brothers and sisters, I have to do this for, my son, and I'm sitting there, and I have to do this for the bigger cause. And because that's what this is about. And day 12 comes, and my son is really stressed out, and telling me, Dad, you're doing this for you. You're not you, but you're making this like you can stop this from happening. Well, son, I have to put up some kind of front. They're going to throw you in prison, and I'm not going to allow that. We're going to make every attempt that we can, verbally, non-violently. We're not here going, hey, bring more people over here, and we've got lookout points, and we're going to have a standoff. It was a stand up for the right of Elijah. It is out because he'd already done all the hours that he was supposed to do, and then made to do more hours. Not here, you have more hours because you made a mistake. No, you didn't do these hours to begin with that he'd already done, and then started redoing all the hours over again, and they just kept moving the goalpost on him. This happens in the probation and parole department by people writing things down and then entering them into a computer. It's not all digitally done. And I'm not trying to track somebody like a freaking dog, but I would like to track those parole and probation officers and make them accountable, because this is how this happens. And my son has become an indentured slave to the probation system. I can easily document, even if they just pinged his phone and kept the bias out of it. That's why I love when I talk to the attorney too about, look, they just had this idiot sitting in the bushes that had weapons of mass destruction caught with in 2002. And they know by they called it digital evidence or digital and cellular evidence, which means they pinged his phone and knew exactly where he was sitting. And that's what I've been screaming to this state and this county. F you with this hearsay or none of that. Ping all their phones now. Actually, we're going to do this because we're going to see he has these witnesses with Morgan, Tom, Don, the 2 feet. Those 5 phones I want pinged. And we're going to see if those phones were pinged at the locations that he was at. See, we don't need to make this about he said, she said. We have what's called digital evidence, correct? People forget this. So that when that crap happened with the whole dump and they came that out, I heard someone was like, yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Cellular evidence, cellular data by pinging your phone. The hell you say my son didn't do this? Just ping his phone. Keep your crap out of this. You saying he didn't do it? Ping his phone. He brought his phone with him. Yes, he brought his tracking device. He didn't leave it at home ever, probably one single time. Oh my God, honey, turn around the car. Oh my God, we're 3 miles away from home and I left my tracking device. What, honey? My iPhone, it's at home. My Android. We don't even need to chip us, brothers and sisters. We just bring our tracking devices with us. That was a Kamala cackle, wasn't it? It's crazy. Ping his phone. Shut the F up. I want to hear this crap. I got the evidence. How about we'll just talk to the people? Was he here with you? Oh, there's witness too, huh? Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. Oh, Tracy calls probation, Lake County. Hey, my son, I've talked to the attorney and he wants to make sure we document everything. Elijah all his hours completed, right? Oh, phone call. Cellular, more cellular evidence of Tracy calling the county, making sure before his son even, calls his attorney saying, hey, he's coming over to the county. Remember we lived over there? He's wanting to come over there. He don't want to stay here. It's just me. I don't want him coming over there, John. Too many people over there, too much crap, whatever. But he wants to come over there. His brother's over there. His mom's over there. His aunts, uncles, nieces, his family. It's all there. I'm the only one out here. What can I, Tracy, remember they do what they want out there. That's probation. Just call and make sure you document it. You already know that. You're law enforcement. I don't want to waste your time. I know, John, but just trying to do what about that phone call, state of Oregon? What are you going to do when we put that in a court of law? And then I call the Lake County. So I got the documented phone call of the attorney. Now I got the documented phone call of the county going, okay, this is Tracy. I know you can't tell me, much because it's Elijah, it's a probation, but, I can call. I want to make sure his hours completed. You can tell me. I've talked with my attorney. I'm just documenting, I'm trying to get a printout, oh, yeah, all his hours are done. No, don't want to take your word. I want you to, can I get a printout? Well, we'll go and look at the system. Put me on hold. Doom, 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 doom. What are you going to do with that cellular data? State of Oregon? What are you going to do with that? Lake County? Well, sisters, what they have done goes years ago, like I said, and I have all the proof, all the evidence, all of it, massive amounts, 4 years. That's why I talked to the attorney. And said, when he said last time, no, we're not going to concentrate all the mounds of evidence. I'll take it to trial. Don't you dare. I will fire you. If you ever think you can come to me with a deal, don't even try it. We are taking this to the box, meaning to trial, or we're going to settle this. And so we're not going to even worry so much about this, all the evidence in this case now. We're just going to focus. I'm telling this attorney, if you don't listen to me, I'm not going to listen to you. You're going to do what I'm telling you. You are my attorney, and you're going to listen to it is about evidence. This ain't about opinion. You're going to focus on all these, all this illegal activity that's gone on in this case, just in this case, and get this, because I don't have legal representation up until I have you now, and now they couldn't make any settlement with me because they kicked it into the courts. I tried not to have it in the courts. I tried to settle this with the district attorney. I just tried to settle this with the county. I've been trying to settle this shit for years. Whoops. It's crap, guys. Apologize. And they just don't want to even make one phone call. Not even help my son. And that's what probation is there to do, and help them. So I get the phone call, like I said, that there's all this documentation, and they don't want to look at any of this. So I told the attorney all of this. I only gave him about this much of the whole, and the whole time, yes, he agrees. And I said, so we're going to focus on how you're going to go, because I'm just telling you, the last time I was in there, this should follow suit. So, you haven't represented me. So when you look at the evidence last time I was in court, I was just telling them the same thing. You better drop this. You don't have evidence. It's not, you kept here illegal. All these things, I've already been doing your job for you. Okay, now you are my attorney. I'll fire you if you don't do this. Don't sit there and come to me with I know 97% of cases go to plea agreement. We're going to trial. But you're going to focus on the evidence and all the illegal things that were done in this case. And now that I have legal representation, you're going to represent me as my mediator to tell them drop this case and drop all of it, or we're taking it to the box. I've done my research in this county. I already know. I've been involved. The county doesn't have enough money to take this to trial. Okay. Even if they started next year with their funding, they can only do 1 or 2 big trials in this county. They skim too much money. It's the poorest county in the state. I know what I'm talking. I told them this case would cost at least $50 million. It will. I told him, what is his name? Studenberg. I said, Studenberg, whatever his name is, Phil, this would cost this county $50 million at a minimum. And that's not even including Elijah's and his wife's case. So they can't afford this case. So you need to get off the phone with me and get on the phone with them and negotiate this and drop all these cases. Otherwise, we're taking it to trial and they don't have the money to do it. He's like, okay, Tracy, I'll speak to you. And that was last week. I'll either speak to you, for the end of the week, or I'll talk to you next week. So I know you guys are kind of going silent on me, but I'm trying to explain to you that there's people, you got to remember, all this blends together during the COVID too. I've been trying to get this sheriff to go after these corrupt law enforcement officers out here, to include the judges now too. They're all corrupt. Judges get fired, brothers, sisters. District attorneys get fired for being criminal. Sheriffs, elected sheriffs, get fired. We just happen to all kind of be in one little hat out here skimming these, they're criminal. Absolute criminals. And I could prove it with lots of other cases. I talked about some yesterday, about, warrants that weren't supposed to be issued. I've had stuff stolen from me from the same lady who stole my stuff, stole my vehicle, got arrested for stealing another vehicle on an estate that I bought. I didn't get to buy the other vehicle because it was part of her payment. She got payment for that. That's what it was said to me by the person that I bought this estate from, who ended up doing a job. She ended up backtracking, even though I paid. I had all this witness, had all this, and then had this lady do all the moving of my product. And she didn't tell me later till they came to arrest her, saying she had warrant for her and her husband and the person she had sold the car to. And she said she had sold my car. I'm like, hey, well, what the hell is what's going on with my car? She said, well, I sold your car too. I'm like, oh, well, whatever it is, what it is. Thank you for your honesty. Why aren't they doing anything about my car? This lady's going after this lady and says she stole her car, which was part of her payment. The lady who I bought the estate from, and then she get arrest warrants issued. I'm like, hey, a minute, that was my estate. I bought it. I had a contract with, legal binding contract. We had the real estate company involved. This is more than one witness. I had somebody there with, there was actual witness. This lady is, now she won't return my phone calls. They threatened to throw this lady in jail, the cleaning lady that the car was payment for. There was 2 cars on the property. She ended up removing both of them. One wasn't mine. It was part of her payment. That was the deal. I got both estates. She was the cleaning lady doing the cleaning the inside of the house. Everything was moved out on an estate sale. So I didn't even need to go into the house. I cleaned the barn, everything on the outside. And then there was another house that had a bunch of stuff, and the sister that lived there that was taking care of the dead mom now supposedly went missing. And I bought all that estate too. Everything was still in there. We made an agreement, cash for both states, came back, had, and then she just disappeared on me. But then she starts having this lady to be arrested. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. She called me. My husband's going to go to jail. He's got priors. He's going to go to prison for 5 years, Tracy. Hey, this lady is started threatening to throw me in jail over this car. I'm like, no, that's bull. That's crap. That was your payment. I remember. That's what I said. I talked, it's like, hey, whatever happened to my car? Well, I sold it. Oh, hey, okay. The minivan, how does this lady get called in and get her arrested? And I can't even call the police and say, hey, because there's a motive to that. It has to do with this Tom Rourke, corrupt sheriff out here. So you see what I'm saying, guys? I don't know how the feds haven't come in, because I already have the state involved. And you hear when they're swatting my house, I'm calling, hey, I've already called the feds. Oh, Tracy, we can't do anything about it. This is an internal investigation. We can't investigate ourselves. I have documentation of me calling saying, hey, I need the sheriff out of this. This is great. I know years of this, years and years involved. Oh, we can't investigate ourselves. You got to call the state of Oregon. I called the state of Oregon. I called the feds. I don't want to, but I got to get something done about this. You don't take a dump in my backyard. I don't care who you are. If you're filthy rich farmer or if you're some jackboot thug sheriff, I'll hold a protest even during the COVID against you to tell you to get up off your butt and stand with these businesses. So I eventually stood with the business brothers, sisters, and they wouldn't. So just so you know, when this whole SWAT raid came to fruition or whatever, and they finally decided to make their execution to come out and execute me, take my life, they didn't succeed because that wasn't God's plan for them that day. No, they went and celebrated and told everybody in these same days, so stupid that the county, because it's been a little time now, is hanging out with the state of Oregon, and they're having a big party on how they're going to come kill me, shoot me up, Hogan's Alley, because my place looks like an old Western town, bragging in front of these business owners hear this. They're serving them whatever, they're serving them food, but they're hearing this. They're going to, that was Tracy who stood up for our businesses. They're going to go shoot this guy. So I got message, guys. These town companies, business owners, the same ones I'm standing. So, hey, Tracy, it's good to see you back. But man, they had, the cleaning lady. She said, Tracy, I've never seen that many. I've been in this town not as long as you, but that many SWAT vehicles, that big of a presence ever out here. There's never been that large of a number of state and county and because they all met at the restaurant the night before. Stay there and close down the restaurant, but we're bragging. They're going to come kill me, shoot me up. How stupid are they? I even remember during my blog that they were in there. The state of Oregon, I believe, was in here. I can't wait if this goes, or God will facilitate the just measure, coming in here and telling me that the state of Oregon has the best snipers. It's one of the best snipers in the military, trying to sway me to shut up. And tell me that because I have access and there's high points that I can see them in the hills around here during this whole stalking. It's all documented. It's all live stream. Everything is live stream. So the stupidity that they made on this evidence is that they had an anonymous phone call. And we had how many thousands of phone calls that were being made to both this lake and Lane County, to these people? That this anonymous phone call says I'm out here being threatening and that I'm armed, and that if I'm backed into a corner, I'll strike, and that I would fight to the death. No, I said I would do this until I die. I'm not going to give up on this cause. And they try to make me out to some violent person. And so when they give these people these jackboot thugs, state of Oregon, and these sheriffs, all they see is what's on the warrant. They never knew about Elijah's 180 hours plus the 133, all the extra hours that he did, none of that. All they knew is get this bad guy, because they saw off this, we left the house that day to go get his wife a shower, and followed us back to the house and turned their lights. They didn't even have that. I read their pursuit. Oh, they told us to pull off the pursuit. Elijah never, they documented it perfect. I love it. He was going 55 miles an hour. Elijah never endangered anybody. He didn't put the public's life in danger. That cop was putting his life, the public's life in danger by turning those lights on, because he said he couldn't see his tag, but then said he ran his plate, stalking him. And that's where dispatch said it was expired, and then pulled us over for that. We were almost to the driveway you know what I'm saying? And then my son turned off. It said he sped off, but they don't have any documentation. And it says my driveway is talcum powder. Out here right now, I could take you out to the driveway at some spots. It used to be a lot higher. It's like talcum powder. If you drive down that driveway, that's why you couldn't see his tag going out, because it just powders the whole. You ever been in it like that? It's an inland ocean, brothers and sisters. Used talcum like powder in some spots. So when he turned the corner and came into the thing, and they said that his wife said, don't stop. You're going to charge her with 2 felonies and 2 Class C felonies and a Class A misdemeanor for telling him don't stop. That's stupid. I mean, over words. So good luck with that. And they didn't even have a warrant for her arrest that day. So again, I'm telling you what happened is that the state of Oregon planned to come out here and shoot me to death. Yes, they did. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I've had other people contact me in the community and tell me, Tracy, we watched that live stream, and that's why they were trying to shake you off of that live stream. That's what they were talking about up there. at the talk, the chatter is this guy's live streaming, and if we get him off his live stream, he'll be pissed. He'll come out armed, and we'll shoot him. And if his son messes up, we'll shoot him too. And then, wife will just have to sit there and suffer. That's why she's not on the warrant. She's not on the warrant. Well, then why did they arrest her that day? They said they had. Well, they came here to come here and shoot me, brothers and sisters. The state of Oregon has done this before. In the standoff, remember the wildlife standoff? Remember the standoff at the range in Mulhor County, out at the wildlife refuge. Remember Lavoy Finicum? He was going over to the other county. What was that? Baker County. I think he's over there in John Day. Maybe that's not Baker County. Anyways, he's leaving from the county out where it was where the wildlife refuge, and going over to John Day, and the state of Oregon came in and shot him to death. Did all the cleanup for the county. Yes, they did. If you know what happened there, that's exactly what the state of Oregon did. Did cleanup for the county. Shot him in the hip and then shot him in the head. He shot in the hip. He reached, down towards his hip, and you can see they have all this. It's all still online. You can find all this still online. But anyways, that's what they were trying to do with me, because I told you they don't like me. Who else do you know that stood up during the COVID? Who else do you know that stood up for the county? Who do you else that stood up to the president? Who do you else that stands against these? Not many people have, brothers, sisters. Not very many people have. So no wonder I'm in all this tangle and all this, because I don't just sit around and just do me like most people in this community, just shut up and, just try to go along to get along. They're just enjoying life, but they're not going to make it very long. They don't have communities. They don't have anybody else. And then spiritually, they're pretty much screwed, because God does not want us to stand around while evil flourishes and say nothing, do nothing. And that's how it continues to flourish. So I refuse, in this third dimension or whatever, in this meat vessel here that I'm in, suit, if you will, to not leave some kind of mark while I was here. I'm not going to stand around and just be one of these people gets kind of written on. Well, there's a majority of the people that just stood around. They were the silent majority. And then there was the people who spoke up. So it normally has been the smallest numbers of people who have made the greatest change. I'm not trying to change anything, but I better wrap this up, brothers, sisters, get something done here. I've got the rest of the day. I'm pretty much decided again to sell everything I own now and to give it to the ministry. And if I have to, I can't get a vehicle, I will walk out of here on foot. I don't care if it's the winter or not. He says, pray your flight not be in the winter, but it is what it is. I might pay the price for not listening to God, but I'm not trying to leave permanently. I'm just trying to get out of here for a week or two, or at a time or something. I come back and, or we'll just see wherever the wind blows me if I have to, because it's always been such a dream of mine since my son was very young. Even before I got full custody of him, I told him I wanted to just, when I was done raising him, I wanted to put a backpack on and not worry about possessions and see where God would blow me around and just go teach and pastor the gospel. And he's known that since a young age. And so before all this happened, he told me I had some precious metals put away to try to pay this land off, some for him and, some to have retirement. If I just wanted to pack it all up and take and go, I could kind of take compact some wealth that I had to be able to have some kind of life. For me, I don't really do much for me. And he said, Dad, go sell all of it and go on the road. You tried to form a community for 10 years, that I remember when it all came to fruition, you got the land and nobody ever came, and you tried so hard and you're miserable, and I can see the pain in your eyes. And I want that for you, Dad. I want you to go get those books to put in the archive. You've been building that thing for 5 years, man. 4 years to dig by hand. That's impressive, Dad. I didn't even think you were living out there and had all those bills, $1,500 worth of bills every month. And you built a near $250,000 to $500,000 storm shelter without income, and everything got taken from us. Fibers, that same precious metals, Dad, that got taken before. Remember, Dad, it got taken before. All that. Go take that precious metals, Dad, and go buy that truck that you want and go on the road. I'm tired of seeing you hurting and in pain. So I didn't listen to him, and it's okay. So that's why I'm kind of dead set on this truck deal now and just giving up all my possessions. You can't own land in this country. Don't lie to yourself. You can't own land. You can't. You'll be taxed on it. And if they want to take it, they can out tax you by inflating your tax to where you couldn't afford it. They could do it. Oh, yes, they can. So I don't want to own any more land. It was with 10 years, I owned some land. I didn't own it till I was 40 years old or whatever. I'm still paying on this land, so I got to get this land paid off. Actually, I have somebody coming today at 3 o'clock to take a look at that 20-acre parcel today, guys. So we'll see. We'll see. God, I still owe some money on it, but I'd pay it off and turn over the deed to it and give them and I don't need the land anymore. What do I need it for? I only bought that property to build a UFO. So, anyways, we'll see what the Lord has and, what the Most High has for me. But I'd like to take this channel mobile and we'll get away from all this, and I will freaking rock this channel as far as going out and showing you that these pastors are not pastors. They don't know the word of God. They don't love God and not teaching the gospel. I could very easily expose that in probably less than 5 minutes of a blog. So they won't probably be big, long videos either, big, long and out draw live streams. Might do some police auditing too while we're out on the road. So this channel could take a turn if God allows it, but not by my. He probably won't, because I haven't been able to come off and do anything I want. Only thing I got is I want those amazing dogs here that I told you. This land, I don't want any of this stuff anymore. It's fun when you're going to build a community. You think you're going to do something with, but when after 10 years, you're just sitting there by yourself, it's kind of drive a man insane. So I don't have to be. I want to go see waterfalls, and I think I really want to enjoy nature more than anything in my last years of my life. I've thrown a fishing pole in the water in more than a decade. I've been hunting in a long time. All I've been trying to do is build a community. So much agape for everybody who's still, I'm seeing not a lot of people are staying in here, but that's okay. About ready to wrap it up anyways, try to figure out, I got people messaging me too about some stuff. So I better shut this channel down and come back again. But I wanted to get up. I was up early and went to bed early last night, and just please remember this. Thanks for coming in. Remember this strike that's going on today, guys. I think this could be as tough as it's crazy. I'm talking to people in the parts industry trying to order a part for a vehicle out here, and they don't even know what's happening, guys. And when I told them, they're like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Thank you so much." And they didn't know. They didn't know this was going to happen, guys. And these are people who are massively affected. People who work in parts counters and stuff, people in food industry and stuff, like the people I stood up with last time. So why not let them know that there was something coming again? But I kind of blew that shofar last night or yesterday with that gentleman from the couple of the parts store. Like, dude, I didn't even know that was happening. The one guy's like, I thought I saw something, but I didn't even know what it meant. Yeah, they're going on strike, brothers, sisters, all the way from, New York to Texas. And now they have North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia. It's got wiped out, guys, wiped out as far as transportation. Got wiped out. You're probably seeing it on your news feed. I just have so much. My heart pours out to those people over there. I told you the water judgments were coming, brothers, sisters. He will burn this place with fire, but he will use water and he will use weather. Whether you do anything about this hailstone or not, I doubt it. None of you will. I doubt that every one of you in this room will not do anything about it. And that's okay. Protect yourself with the armor of God. And he said, no weapon formed against you, those plagues will not come against you. So don't live in fear. I'm not trying to incite any fear. But the one big thing too, I think bigger than anything, even a little bit more until this time, to focus on that celestial pinch, which is 23 days away now, 23 days away, is that honga tonga moisture that's sitting over your head. What goes up must come down. It will come down sooner or later. So you can ignore all that water vapor over your head, but sooner or later, it's going to come down on top of you. And there's no place, no continent that you will get away from that. So just keep ignoring that. And then one day, the last thing going through your head will be your butthole. Apologize, but probably right there through your body. Yep, that's the last thing to go through your mind as you impact this dirt and ground by a massive hailstone, and I think you should at least try to make some kind of preparations for it. Not, oh, God will save me. I got you. I understand. I got you. But he still wants us to be wise and girded in his service till he returns. So please go out and do something today for not only today, but something that happens after you die. That's what's most important about this, is the inheritance that we'll receive after we die. There's nothing more important in this life than death, meaning you are working towards, something for later. Have something like a savings account for later. You got to endure to the end to be saved, though. So don't check out early, guys. I know it's tough right now. There's a lot of people struggling like myself, but he's going to pull me through this. The cream just always rises to the top. And remember, what goes up must come down. So keep in mind that Honga Tonga eruption. You're going to forget about it, but it's still up there. And one day that it don't have to be 130-pound hailstones. It could be a 50-pound hailstone will compromise your head. You ain't going to fight no 50-pound hailstone. If you look around, the elite are all dug in right now. You guys, listen, this is why they do war. I'm telling you, war has been fought underground. It's easier to build a castle under the ground than it is above the ground. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You don't know anything about this, so there's massive chasms already from these cycles and these things, this pinch, these wars. War makes people get under the ground. Yep. And that's how part of this war will be. I'm not some prophet. This war will go underground, brothers and sisters. Yep. Yes, it will. It's already, so to speak, it's already happening. So get ready spiritually, above all, and then try to have the things you need. Go out today if you don't have any of your missing preps, not the end of the world, not zombies, but, got extra TP for your bunghole. Maybe you got medication, just think about the things you might before this strike that could set in and cause a massive disruption in the supply chain, to go get the things you need. We already saw this happen in this country, and now it's happening again. Don't say it's not, because now it is happening again. You got to go around 2-3 states in Tennessee to get through some of the stuff, guys. It's not going to be repaired for years to come. Tennessee was devastated. North Carolina, South Carolina, they were devastated. The roads are wiped out. Main arteries are wiped out, guys. Wiped clean. Off the map. Cities, towns, wiped off the map. Scrubbed. Gone. Whole people's livelihoods, gone. There's still possibly thousands of missing people, brothers and sisters. Okay? This is getting hard to watch. So I hope you can find a small community of people that want to survive. I can't. I tried, so I'm going to go to the woods. I'm going to get away and just live in the woods and hit the cities randomly and go teach the gospel, stock up, and if God so allows it. So I have 1A piece of property for sale online. I'm going to we'll see today. If this property sells, I won't sell this property. I'll just keep it and try to pay this one off. And if not, I might offer it for sale again too, and then pay this one off that I need to. And then I don't need to have the land anymore. I'll only have one more parcel left, one more 20-acre parcel left. And I think I could probably walk somebody into that property for $4,000 or $5,000, and they could be living here away from this place in a nice, high desert. And I'm running the law enforcement out of here. They don't mess with most people, just get left alone. Not much of a community out here, a good community, but not much community like people get together and do things, because people just like to be left alone out here. That's what this place is about. More people come out here to be left alone than anything else. Absolutely. I'm talking with the public. They know I got my finger over this community, probably more than anybody, community member here. I care about this community, whether anybody cares about me. I care about this country, whether this country cares about me or anybody cares about, does not motivate me. I am not motivated by what people think about me, or people like me that, irregardless what our communities and our country says, and the people, we still are not motivated by what they think. There's a higher cause and a higher thing that's empowering us to get up every day and do what that it is that we are doing while we are here, so that we don't leave this place without leaving some sort of mark, that we were here, and not like big towers and, no, like we did not stand by as the silent majority. So that I refuse to be. That's why I continue and will blog until they shut me down completely or shoot me in the head. They already shot me in the face. I think if God wanted me to die that day, I wouldn't be here. They shot my son. I never have seen him. I don't know if I'll ever see him again. I know he's alive, but I don't know how he didn't make any noise. But did it miss him? Yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. I'm not, God wants me, put me exactly where he wants me to be. So, but I'm looking forward to getting away from, trying to build a community, getting on the road and going to teach and pastor the gospel, taking this video on the road. If so, exposing these churches, taking you out. You don't think I'm going to blog out in nature? Hey, look, guys, if I got service and I don't have the greatest, pretty cheap phone, but if I got phone service, I'll blog. I ain't worried about being anywhere in the woods and them knowing where I'm at. I don't care. They know where we're at, no matter where you're at. So not going to escape the judgments. I just think I can spend the rest of my days, and instead of trying to build a community, which is smart, self-sufficiency, no cost, you got sustainability. I think I could sustain myself in the woods. Would be the same lifestyle I live now, but I think I know how to trap and set a fall trap. I know how to hunt. I can, expert marksman. If I have a Second Amendment item on me, I want to eat what I kill, shoot, or whatever, and fish. And I haven't eaten any fish in probably 10 or 12 years. I don't want no farm raised fish. I want to go catch me a brook, a cutthroat trout, a brown. I probably won't eat a brown trout. I'd probably throw that back, but or a nice rainbow trout. I haven't eaten fish forever because I don't eat fish out of the ocean because of Fukushima. So, and you'd be all right. I mean, I just do it for stand up for the cause, so to speak. Nobody stands up because that's the biggest disaster ever in the history of our time. Is that oil spill in Ohio too, or not the vinyl chloride. That's massive. You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that. So, we got birds on the roof. So much love and agape, guys. If you want to support the ministry here, you buy a donation through monetary. You can do that through the Cash App or PayPal. Super Chat's always on. Thanks for your tithe by your time. You can't print more money, right? Yep, you can. Can't print more time. So thank you for your tithe. You can go make more money. You cannot get the time back that you gave me. Thank you for your tithe to the ministry. Thanks for being here. Those that stuck it out here for a few hours with me here and listen to my little life rant, and hopefully got some gospel. And nobody's following my TikTok. I've only got like 3. I'm not even. That's what a dead end that place is too. Put in that extra reported me. Cool. All right. Big beef. No weapon formed me will prosper. Go ahead. No fiery darts will penetrate this armor. Good stuff. Come back when you can't stay longer. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Take it deep. So I've been telling everybody, take it deep, brothers, sisters. So get it. He said, be in the world, but be not of it, right? Be in the world, but be not of it. Cash is king, not the kind that jingles, money folds or jingles, right? But cash, like put something away for a rainy day. Report that. Stick that in your Leviathan apple pipe and smoke it. Okay? All right. Much love, brothers, sisters. Love you. Much agape. I'll see you guys again. I got to get some work done out here on the shelter. I don't know. I'm figuring out how to just walk away from this. You want to help buy some land? I've got some land for sale. I'll donate it. You want to make a Cash App donation? You can do that through Cash App once again. And you can come back by supporting it. And your tithe is your time here. You don't have to monetarily contribute to the channel. Anybody who's ever monetarily contributed didn't gain favor in my eyes. I don't look at them any different than anybody else. So I do appreciate the people who've made some of the small donations that have been made through this last year to the channel. It's helped me through some struggled times, but I do appreciate your tithe more than anything, because that's time you can't get back. So that is truly your tithe. I want you to tithe by coming in here and staying in here. You don't have to comment, but you just being in here. You don't have to let me even know you're here. Just write some stuff down, okay? And then put it all through your spiritual filter for me, all right? Discern all things, believe no man. Well, believe no righteous man, okay? If man's giving you upright meat, milk, not watered down, then support those people by coming back, okay? And taking your time. So much appreciated. Don't worry about it. God creates vessels of wrath. Most people are going to hell, brothers, sisters. Most people are going to hell. Very few find the straight gate, and that's God's word. And so don't live in fear. Only fear the Lord, that you're not doing what it is that he tells you by exposing evil, exposing people that do their works to the father of the devil. And God has a plan for them. Don't worry. You can't turn a goat into a sheep. It's not even possible. They're going to go to hell no matter what. And don't try to change a sheep into a goat. Remember, he said you cannot fool the elect. They cannot be fooled. So if people want to play their silly little reindeer games and worship their orgy, transgender, sex biscuit, rituals of the Catholicism and this perversion, just show them to the narrow way. Show them to the narrow way. That's called righteous judgment, brothers, sisters. And don't forget to not do that to yourself. That is love. Pass righteous judgment on yourself, and don't even do it any different than you do it to your enemy. That's right. Put the word of God on yourself. He'll do it. Seeking you shall find. He'll make you see. Asking you shall receive. He'll make you ask. Ask for the knowledge, to the discernment, not for things, not for worldly things, not for busos, brothers, sisters, knowledge. That's what that book is talking. Knock, and I'll come sup with you. Meet, hello, land of milk and honey. All right, much love, much agape. We'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for letting me bring you this truth. Remember, truly, we are in the last book. We have made it to the last book in Scripture. The firmament declared that, not me. Hallelujah. I hope you're living apocalypse, a living revelation, going out and pulling off all the lies to expose the truth. And then a living gospel, you're supposed to go out and suffer, telling people we don't do these traditions of men anymore. God's got our back. Just walk and follow in his commandments and go out and judge another brother or sister with the word of God 2 times and then rebuke them. You're done. You've done what your commander told you. Move on. Enjoy yourself daily and enjoy there's beautiful things that he made here for us still to have time. It's not all evil. Okay. There's a lot of it here, but if you'll find smaller communities, self-sufficiency, that's much more. Put your feet in the ground today. If you haven't taken your shoes off and put your feet, I don't care if you just have a lawn and you live in a city, you can't get to dirt. Don't dig your lawn up. Put your feet on the ground today. If you haven't done that in a while, put your feet, let this all be a part of, because this is part of everything. We just keep coming back here, time and memorial, brothers, sisters. So if I don't see you because some God foreseen circumstance, or God willing, I'll see you again. I'll see you here in the new heaven and new earth, brothers, sisters, and we'll receive our inheritance if we are so chosen from the foundation of the world. All right, that's the truth. I am Apocalypse, one broadcast at a time, sowing seeds. Remember, he said the enemy came and sowed seeds while you're sleeping. Don't go to sleep, brothers, sisters. I am Apocalypse. Whoa.